Sport Subaru right there on North John Young Parkway. It's their brand new Sport Subaru compound that's super nice.
So nice, man.
And you can talk to Mike Stacks. I think he sent me a text message last week from a listener who bought a brand new Subaru. And I'm working it out with that listener to come in and watch the show, because that's what you can do once you buy a vehicle from Subaru or Don Millie Chevy in Claremont.
Yeah, Subarus are great vehicles. Tons of our listeners have them. Ross has one. He won't shut up about it. He loves it.
Yeah, I know,
because they're super reliable and they're great cars. If you like adventuring, there's a reason why adventuring people drive Subarus. They all do.
All-wheel drive, the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Yes.
They hold their value, too. The resale value on Subarus are great.
Because they're super reliable cars.
Also, if you're looking for a Chevrolet, that mid-engine Corvette, my wife drives a Chevy Traverse. She loves it. I have a Chevy Silverado.
You got an itch, don't you?
Yeah.
You want a new truck.
Have you seen
the new trucks? Oh,
I know.
So nice.
I know. I'm about to make my last payment on my truck, and then it's like, I need a new one.
What are you going to do?
And I was texting JC the other day because I was like, hey, what's the trade-in value? Because they offer great trade-in value. And talk to JC Harrelson at Don Millie Chevrolet in Claremont if you're looking for a Chevrolet. So if you purchase a vehicle from either dealership, you can come in and watch the show.
We'd love to have you do that.
That's Don Millie Chevrolet in Claremont and Sport Subaru right there on North John Young Parkway. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We've got Moe's Comedy Jam coming up September 5th.
Is this the third or fourth Moe's Comedy Jam?
Third, I want to say.
I can't remember. I know the first one was virtual.
Okay, maybe this is the fourth because there were two at...
This is the fourth.
At Tuffy's.
Yeah.
So the first one was virtual, then two at Tuffy's.
Yeah.
And then this fourth one is going to be at the Orlando Funny Bone.
It's like it's graduated. First virtual, couple of Toughies, and now it is at an actual comedy club.
And performing at Moe's Comedy Jam, we have comedian Rue Nafasad here. How you doing, Rue?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm here in my dad shirt because I was going to hang out with two dads.
Yeah,
man.
I love it.
Did you think about that? You're like, I got two old dads.
I got to put on my flowery Trumpy shirt and come in here like a boogaloo boy.
But
do they still call him that? I don't know. I don't follow the news. We're apolitical, so we don't do any of that.
And Rue, I kind of I run it a little bit younger. Because
what are you talking about?
That's
a horrible thing. That sounds gross.
What do you mean?
I run younger.
Yeah, did you hear? He said I run it younger. That sounds like he's trolling for 14-year-olds or something.
It also sounds like he's using the blood of young people to power his energy.
That's the thing. Pizzagate. That is the thing. He votes that way too. You should see the truck he drives.
I'm just saying I'm a little bit Anthony Kiedis.
That means you're a disgusting pedophile.
No, 19.
Anthony Kiedis had a 19-year-old girlfriend, and they broke up with her for an 18-year-old girlfriend.
Oh my God.
Got too old.
Yeah, you can't. Once you hit that 19-year-old mark, you're basically dead.
It's like, oh my God, look at her.
So,
expired.
Gross.
Rue, let's talk about it because you've got a podcast, Pillow Talk. You've been
Pillow Fort.
Oh, I'm sorry. God,
you're doing what she does on the show. I listened to the episode this morning.
God damn
and
it.
you were talking. Let me tell you why I like Rue.
God damn it.
She's very much like us, and let me tell you why Rue is very much like us. She has
Just
a show.
screws up all the time?
Yes. She has a show called Pillow Fort, right?
Yeah.
But she on stage multiple times called it Pillow Talk, and people started thinking it was like a sex blog or something. And then on her own podcast called Pillow Fort, she called it Pillow Talk multiple times. I was listening this morning, and I'm like, this lady's our lady because we F up more than anybody. So I was like, I don't even need to prep. She's like Tom and Dan.
Yeah, Amy gets so mad at me because we intentionally were
They fought about this on their podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We were like, we're gonna call it Pillow Fort because we don't want people thinking that we're gonna be talking about like sexual things, and then all I do is call it Pillow Talk, and I've like introduced Amy, so
Every
this
time.
is my co-host, and it's terrible.
Even correcting herself, she's like, I'm sorry, I call it Pillow Talk. They're like, stop saying that. She's like, I can't. Like, it's like she couldn't not say it. You might as well change it to Pillow Talk now.
Well, no, now it's a bit. Now I have to what if it sells better? I don't know.
Sex does sell.
Sex
it does.
sells. We did start talking about boobs in the most non-sexual
okay.
way.
What about boobs?
Boobs can be non-sexual. They can. Have you seen this thing now? And I don't know how it got on my algorithm, but I'm going to tell you about it because Tom already showed you that he's a creep, so I might as well even the score.
Okay.
There's a thing called Hot Moms Breastfeeding on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram, and that's how they get around the algorithm.
Wow, you don't know how you got this on your algorithm.
I honestly don't. I think one snuck in there, and then I paused because I was like, "There's boobs," because I was like, "Oh my god!" Because the one is covered by a baby, and then the other one's just out.
Yeah. And they're allowed to do that.
And they're allowed to do that because the baby, if the baby's in the frame, like you could do this. Like any woman can go on Instagram and Facebook right now. Any woman, grandmas, old ladies, anyone,
and show their boobs.
As long as you have it could be a baby doll. As long as you have a baby doll's mouth pushed into your areola on either side.
So it doesn't even have to be a real. Because I was gonna say, if it's a real baby, that is a lot.
Doesn't
of
need to be a real baby. No, there's a girl I follow that 100% is just there because she's like a baddie, like a hot ass chick.
Yeah.
And she just pushes baby dolls into her boobs and makes money doing it.
I hate this.
I do too, but it's on my algorithm. I can't get it off. I can't even look at my Instagram in front of my daughter.
How realistic does a doll have to be?
It's shiny. It's shiny. It's shiny. It's a to me.
A sphere. It just has to be a sphere.
Well, like,
it's just a basketball with a wig on the top.
Okay, well, yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything.
Like, is there rules
No.
of social media?
No.
Like, could it be like a knitted baby doll, like crochet? And then it still count.
No, I don't think it could
does
be.
Does it have to be at least realistic
I do
looking?
think the texture of the baby's going to matter.
I mean, is that because it's all just a bot that scrapes? You know what I'm saying? Is the bot going to stop a crochet baby?
Yeah. What is the vision? What's the vision on this AI right now?
I don't know. We should test it out. But it is. I mean, it is all over, and it's just like. And then here's the other thing. Now here's where it does get creepy. In order for this to exist and to live, people have to not call it out, right? So if you're a dude that's into this, if you're a straight up real pervert and you love hot moms breastfeeding, you can't say anything about it because it'll ruin what you've created. There's this community, right? So I'm looking at all these posts, and there's hundreds of posts of these ladies with their boobs out with one baby doll pushed into one boob, right? No comments under any photos.
Oh, that feels evil.
It does, right? Because listen, if you comment, right, it's going to get flagged or something. So that guys just watch it, you're like silent perverts. It's weird, man.
I mean, well, no, I was going to say, aren't all perverts silent? But I guess.
We wish they were.
Yeah.
Some are vocal.
Yeah. The loud ones. The loud perverts are the one you got to watch out for.
This is actually a thing, though, that...
I can't segue out of this into her comedy career. I can't
Yeah,
do
I
it.
know.
I can't do it.
Sorry, you guys know nothing about it.
Okay, last breastfeeding topic. Then we're going to talk to Rue about how she started.
Yeah.
And I'll just say their names because they'll never hear.
Say my name.
But my good friend Fernando, which I've known for over 25 years.
Yeah. I love that man.
He has a younger wife, and by say younger, she's in her 30s.
Oh wait, I saw this.
But he married younger, like he's similar to Daniel.
Yeah, I'm Daniel.
Yeah.
I married younger.
And
I was actually in the room when my wife was born.
Very
special. Very special.
Rue, don't listen to him. He's
Very
crazy.
special. I stood there.
I'm taking notes.
And she, has not a toddler, but still breastfeeding toddler. And I say toddler, but a young baby or whatever. Anyway,
You gotta be careful, dude. You're gonna start villainizing people.
And then on vacation, she was breastfeeding
Yes.
often, and sometimes in the car.
She did on the camping trip, right?
And then I ran over to their car, and you've seen this.
and then he puts his hands up like a dog.
And then she was breastfeeding. She's not, don't care. We're all friends. She's like, but she's got them out. And then I have a hard time functioning.
Yeah, I know you do.
When because I'm trying to talk to my buddy Fernando, who's in the driver's seat, and she's breastfeeding in the passenger seat, and I'm looking through the passenger window, and then I can't function, and I feel like that I'm less of a man.
If you have sunglasses on, you look right at him.
I feel like I'm still like a boy if I can't just look past the fact that a woman's
you guys gotta switch algorithms,
Give me his algorithms all like fitness and stuff. I don't want any of that.
So, Rue, let's talk about how do you got into comedy and when did you start performing stand up and all that? When was it?
Yeah, when did I start? I feel like time, like in Florida, time doesn't really exist.
No.
There's no seasons.
Yeah. It's all just one.
There is no seasons, no COVID, no nothing. Like we just power right through the life. We're all the same at all times.
Yeah, I think I started around like 2021 is when I decided to like finally see it, and it was very very egotistical the way that I started. But I mean, I'm a comedian. What are you gonna do?
I like that.
Yeah, but I think I always wanted to do stand up. I just like grew up in a very strict household, and that wasn't even like a thing in conversation to get into entertainment in any way. So I like went, got my degree, and like had a job. I was bored of it. But
What's your degree in, if you don't mind me asking?
Biology.
Okay, all right.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Perfect person to talk to about breastfeeding.
Did your parents want you to become a doctor or something? Yeah.
Well, I got into school and I didn't really know what I wanted to be, and my parents were really pushing for me to be a doctor, so I decided to do pre-med, and I was like, wow, this is boring. I have to talk to people that are suffering the worst.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, everybody like you know, especially
You're like, I don't care about you. Oh man, this is hard.
You know, it does seem like a less attractive job than it used to be
Hard
when
job,
we were
dude.
young. Like
Hard job.
in the 80s and 90s,
Well, we just
it was
looked
like
at the money then.
become a doctor.
Yeah.
They get rich. Like there was
Yeah.
no like a doctor, lawyer.
Maybe that's why all our kids only care about money, because like for years we were like doctor, lawyer, that's it. There's money.
Yeah, that's literally what my parents want. And it's like, especially because my parents are immigrants, those are the things that like give stability in their
Sure.
brains. 'Cause
Yeah,
those
Yeah.
are jobs that mean something.
And that's burned in there, man.
Yeah.
Like, because they've also probably seen some things that are pretty terrible, and vice versa. You look
Yeah.
at that and you're like, comparatively, no, we have to go this route. That just makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
that's-
like, we should not be cab driving in the 90s in Chicago.
yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that is very unsafe and not cool. Yeah.
So you went the exact opposite and went comedian.
Yeah.
Which is right under cab driver, actually.
Yeah. Actually make less and get shot more, probably.
And I'm sure
Not as safe.
I'm sure your parents were super excited about it when you told them.
Oh
You're like,
my God.
I'm going from pre-med to comedian. And what I know about stand-up comedians locally
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
you know, it's a tough road,
It's a tough road.
to become successful. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
here's the thing that I do know about local comedians. They always uplift each other, and they're always supportive. They're never, ever petty and tearing each other
Yeah,
down.
there's never been competition in the local scene ever. You know?
No, it's so easy to break in, and there's no clicks, and there's no problems with it at all.
No,
and
so
all the rooms are
collaborative.
open
That's the
and
thing I
fun.
love about comedy is that it's so collaborative.
Hey, yeah, everybody supports each other. Everybody, no one talks S all the time.
Yeah.
There's no politics involved with it getting good rooms, and there's no.
And here's another thing. I forgot
gatekeeping.
about this one. Here's another thing I know. Way easier if you're a lady. That I know.
Oh, yeah.
That I know.
Ugh. I just walk in the room like, you want to be on the lineup?
Come on in. I'll put her at the top.
Yeah.
They look at my boyfriend like, you're definitely the boyfriend, right? Like, you're not the comic.
That's hilarious.
So, how was that conversation when you said to your parents, "Hey, I'm going from pre-med and also all that schooling that I'm sure they paid for is now going to waste?" I guess.
It's not a waste.
Well, I
Good
still,
material.
You
in
know, you
there.
still have the opportunity to
A lot
go
of good
back.
material. You get a lot of
but-
good reading.
Yeah,
joking.
I know how to read now. That's crazy. That's crazy because you can do that. No, I still like I ended up getting a job with my degree, but it was like a spreadsheet job, so I really didn't need it. But I used my college degree. I just saw Hassan Minhaj one time, and I was like, I could do that. And then went to an open mic literally 2 months later and started doing it. And I like, you guys know, when you're doing comedy, it's nothing. It practically for me right now at the level that I am at right now is still basically nothing. But it's starting to pick up, and I really love it, and I would love for it to go somewhere because it's fun.
Well, people have good things to say about you. I think your energy is good, and we've had multiple people like say, "Oh, you got to get her on the show." And Ross is a big believer in you, and yeah, it's cool. It's like I like our local comedians and the fact that we get to chat with them. It's cool.
What's
Scary.
What's the plan 2024? Is it still the same as it was 15 years ago, which is just grind, hit the open mics, start making a name for yourself,
out on the road with somebody.
perform in front of as many audiences as possible just to get the reps?
I think it's still that, but you, on top of that, have to, like, branding is a big thing.
Okay.
You know, you have to have, like, if you're going to be a comedian now, you have to care about your social media presence as much as it
Yuck.
sucks. Because, like, the algorithm's constantly changing. There's no, like, science to it. You just have to, like, keep putting stuff out there, I feel like, and be persistent about it so someone notices you. And I think some people get really lucky with that, where they're a year into comedy and then blow up and are now like touring and headlining wherever they want. And there's a lot of older comedians that might have an opinion on that. But hey, you get your audience where you get your audience, right? Being a headliner means you could bring people into a club.
Right.
But yeah, I think you still, like, for a lot of people, you're just kind of doing everything that works, right? You still tour, you still meet people that have been in the game for a while, you learn from them. But on top of that, you have to care about how other people perceive you and have your social media presence out there and just try your best, I guess.
Yeah. There is so much, like, gamble involved in it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know what to do, but whether or not you get the opportunity. And then when you get the opportunity, what you can do with it, taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like being a good writer is part of it too. Is like being able to constantly write. And I feel like as a new stand-up, like maybe even setting some like writing time every day just to get that
working out.
Yeah, it's like work. Yeah, it is.
Do you do that? Do you like what's your writing process like? Because it's something I'm fascinated with. A lot of people, like how everybody's different. Like one of the things that's most weird to me is like, do you write digitally or do you write like old school, pen or pencil on paper? Like, how do you do it?
I feel like I have to write it old school, pen and paper.
Me too.
But like before it even gets on pen and paper, I just kind of like mess around with a premise or a concept on stage and like try different ways to say it first before I feel like I could write it on pen and paper. And it helps because I host a regular show that I produce. So I just, a lot of times during my, like, they're going to see me every single time I do this show. I might as well try to do new material while I'm on there.
Right.
And that's most of my process, just like trying out new material when I'm on stage as a host set, and then writing it down on pen and paper and refining it from there.
Right on. Plug your show. When's your show? Like the
so I currently have a show at 12 Talons in the Milk District.
Oh, nice. I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah, it's on the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. Super great. The beer is great. It's a relatively new location, and it's just a good vibe.
I think they just partnered with our buddies over at Tactical and did like a beer collab.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those guys. The beer guys are supportive too. They like working with each other and doing stuff like that.
Rue, Daniel told me that you recently took swim lessons to learn how to swim.
Yeah, how'd you know that?
Well, I listened to your podcast. I really enjoyed it. And then you were talking about that. I wrote it down because we like to do research before our guests come in, which is something people don't do anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to brag about that a little bit. But then I was like, that's got to be crazy because, like, I remember my grandma taking driving lessons when she was, like, older, and it was harder. And she told me that. She's like, don't wait. I waited. It's hard. Is it harder taking swim lessons? Do you know how to swim or not? Or, that's a dumb question, maybe.
So I did take swim lessons. I took it at, like, the local park
badass.
District.
That's balls, dude. You're brave.
Well, yeah, because I live in an area that's surrounded by water.
Smart.
I'm going to drown.
And as an adult,
it's like the smartest thing I've ever heard somebody that's not from Florida do. Is like, well, I'm here now. I'm going to learn how to swim. Like, I've never heard anybody do that. In fact, I have friends that don't know how to swim.
Where'd you grow up, Rue?
I grew up right outside of Chicago.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, right? I grew up in Chicago and I come down to do comedy. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I love it here. And yes, I agree with your swim.
So you never learned how to swim growing up?
I think my mom really wanted me to learn, but like when I was younger, I'm the oldest child, so we used to move around a lot until they finally got a house in the suburbs. And by that time, I felt like my parents are more religious, and I was like, I don't want to wear like a full body suit thing.
Right.
Yeah. And then like as we kept going, a lot of the lifeguards were classmates, and I didn't want to deal with that. That felt embarrassing at that time.
Totally.
But now I am an adult, and I don't really give a crap about what other people say. So me and my one other friend, we decided to take swim lessons to try it out. And for me,
I mean, how, much do you not, if you jumped into a deep end of a pool, would you drown or can you tread water? Like, how, what are we talking about?
I don't know if people that don't know how to swim know how to even articulate that question.
Yeah, I feel
because there's levels, there's a spectrum of not swimming. It's either, nothing. I mean, I've seen the videos of people, they fall in the water and they just literally sink and they're dying. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
there's people that are like, they can tread water, but they can't like freestyle swim.
My
or
favorite
do,
are the people that just start thrashing.
Yeah,
I love
thrashing.
thrashers.
That's what you should do is thrash.
Yeah,
right?
you gotta thrash. Go crazy. Gas out.
No, I can't. I don't think I could tread water, but I feel like I could like panic swim away if I.
Yeah, you're in good
Okay.
shape. Like you're like not humongous or anything. You know, like I feel like you could just because you look regular. Well, that's insulting to other people, isn't it? Because you look regular, I think you could swim to the side.
But like I've always like remember like Akeem Woods when he said he couldn't swim. I was like, well, wait a minute.
A lot of our comedian friends don't know how to swim. We should do. What if we did? What if we lined up all Orlando comedians and did a swim off?
Okay,
The Tom and Dad Orlando Comedian Swim Championships.
I'm not being racist, but they do have all something in common.
They are darker.
I'm not going to say it.
They're darker comedians.
I'll let you guess what it is. No, but would you sink and die immediately, or can you at least save your own life? Like, how bad if not being able to swim?
If I could get to land in, I don't know, maybe like 2 minutes, maybe I'll live. If not, if I'm out in the open water, shit, I'm dead.
I think you could float on your back.
Oh yeah, I could. Floating was really easy. I think, and especially as women, I think women float easier than men.
Well, I mean, this isn't an insult, but they have higher fat content, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got boobs.
That's why I float better than Tom. You probably sink pretty good now because you're lean now.
Yeah, I guess.
I bet you sink better now.
Yeah, I do. But it's weird because I've been swimming so long that I can't even comprehend.
Oh, you're
not
just bragging in front.
Well, no,
that's mean to say. She's right here.
No, but
come on, man.
If you started
She just
swimming,
started swimming, and you're like, "Oh, I've been swimming so long.
I just started my journey.
No, but I've, like people that like started swimming as babies, and then they can't even understand what not knowing how to swim
I had a
even
water
means.
birth.
Really,
Yeah.
I came out of my mother into a pool.
yeah.
Ooh,
No, I didn't.
Like a water birth?
I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I made that up.
Like,
I make up a lot of. I lie. I'm constantly lying.
What?
so after is this a continuing thing? You're going to learn how to actually swim well, or you just wanted to learn to save your life in case you fell into water?
I mean, yeah, I kind of want to learn to save my life in case I fell in water, especially because I have these like annoying friends that like to go outside on vacation.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
Well, like full itinerary, no rest.
Oh yeah. We're hiking to the top of the mountain, and then we're gonna swim, and then we're gonna swim down the mountain.
Well, we're there to experience life, not to sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, some of us like to sit around and get effed up.
Yeah, give me a beer and a cigarette.
Exactly. Some of us like to smoke cigarettes, like vapes.
If you go on vacation,
Have you had a vape? It's wonderful.
Yeah, of course you could do it, but you could vape
No,
out
I mean
in
nicotine, the big rig.
Yeah,
where you're blowing plumes, fat plumes.
You do that as you're on your hike in the morning.
I do that when we go out hiking. I'm high as balls.
So again, get your tickets to Mo's Comedy Jam, mocomedyjam.com for all your tickets. It's September 5th, and it all goes to charity, which is a great opportunity if you don't normally go out to see stand-up comedians.
This is for a wonderful cause.
Yeah.
And also I believe they just added Ryan Holmes to the lineup as well, so you're getting more comedy. So, but hey, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having
And
me.
if you ever want to come back, we'd love to have you.
Oh my god!
So you can curse and stuff, and we can yell. We can yell the F word some.
And check out our podcast, Pillow Talk. I'm joking.
It's
Pillow Fort.
Yeah, Pillow Fort. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
Ruth, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Tom and Dan.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got John Graham in studio.
Hello.
For a segment we like to call What's in Our Mouths.
What's in my mouth? It better not be a fish. What's in my mouth? It's a goddamn fish.
It's What's in My Mouth, featuring John Graham. It better not be a fish.
You should put out an EP of all the versions.
Normally, it's not a fish. Normally, it's just normally it's some sort of consumer product that they're trying to, trying to trick us into
new stuff, weird stuff.
I think that it's a trickery, right? It's a bit of like ad trickery.
Novelty. Yeah.
Yeah, where they're trying to find different things for us to eat.
Well, there's a million kinds of. Remember, there used to be one kind of Oreos. Now there's like 40.
Yeah.
There's popping Oreos. There's fall Oreos. There's Lady Gaga Oreos.
Before we start, I want to talk to John about the news.
Yes. What do you think of Gaza? What's your opinion?
There's
of Gaza?
nothing to get me into trouble there.
No, not
From the land
no.
to the sea, they will always be free. Like, I don't know.
Not
What's the
the
phrase you say? Okay.
Not the world news.
Oh,
the,
my God.
The
what do you think of walls?
The local media news.
Sorry.
And I want to talk to. I saw a BDM post from a BDM that posts regularly and has been a BDM for a long time. Richard, the UPS
Grumpy
driver.
Richard, Grumpy British Richard,
Grumpy British Richard.
Yeah, I love him. He's great.
Who's dedicated his life to delivering Chinese garbage. Take that. Anyway, so he said, he was like, hey Tom, he tagged me and he's like, this is why people watch the traffic reports on the news.
Oh, and it was a hot Asian traffic reporter.
And then it had a good-looking lady in a pantsuit.
She had
traffic.
a tight top with a little skirt and her hair frosted.
And so I was about to reply, but then I was like, I just want to talk about it on the show.
Okay, that's fair.
But my reply was going to be, I can see videos of good-looking ladies on the internet.
That's not any fun. That's because you don't have any imagination. You got to have everybody show you. Doing
more interesting things than some irrelevant traffic report.
Exactly. It's good because it's in your town and it feels like there's like a connection. She's talking directly to me.
I can meet that person at Publix.
Yeah, this is exactly. John gets it. He's horny and real. You have no emotion. You literally can't do it.
I could literally see videos of newscasters doing the news and then some dudes come in there.
But they're not real. They're not real newscasters. You see the difference?
Yeah, but
it's because you're emotionally detached from it.
I don't think you're going to see that on there.
Well,
I'm just saying. Those videos? It's like 6 guys come into frame.
Gosh,
like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you're taking the time out of your day to watch a local television report with
Richard
a good
has an imagination.
But you don't need an imagination with the videos on the internet.
I understand, but some people
it's
like
so
that.
much better.
It's like a version of edging. It's like mental edging.
It's still a stranger.
Not as good.
Well, that's not the only reason to watch the news, right?
Yeah.
Is your dark fantasies?
Well,
that's my only reason. My only reason to watch the news is to sort of see how all the lady newscasters
your
are
traffic's
holding
probably
up.
not too bad, but yeah.
Well, and then also, I mean, it comes to my phone. I just see the traffic real time.
Travesties. Okay, let's get into our products.
But I mean, in defense of local news, I know what you're saying because I'm a little more. When I was doing news, which is almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
Weather was always first. Or not necessarily came first, but was most important. And now you can get it on your phone. So the challenge is to make it interesting, personable, but also try and beat your phone because the stuff coming to your phone might be 10 minutes delayed. So the people here in town can get a little ahead of that. But that's more important when you get like a hurricane or tornado or a big storm coming through. And this is kind of the same thing with traffic. Hopefully they'll see stuff
a little faster. He's
Hold
not going to buy it. He's
the
going to yell
news tries to beat your phone. That's impossible.
He's going to yell at you about how his phone wins, and he's and then he's going to do the thing where he yells.
We're talking minutes, not hours or anything. But
listen, my phone is the fastest phone.
No, it's not. Your phone is not.
I get things before the news can give it to me.
You don't. Your phone is trash. Yours, personally, your phone is not good. It's not quick.
Yeah, I got the iPhone, whatever.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, but it gets things instantly.
Johnny has to win the argument in order for us to get the product.
Okay.
Sorry,
you got to let him win. You got to let him win.
Watch the news. Get up.
Yeah, people are different and different reasons for watching the news. Yeah,
what's the reason?
Yeah, I just told you, but it's never good enough for you. That's the way we argue here. You give him reasons, and he's like, no.
Plus, you could.
I'm not doing it anymore.
You could see Trooper Steve driving around or at the Publix or the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's more of a Trooper Steve, man. I think that was one of the jokes that floated into that. All right, what do we got here for?
Well, before I even dive into these, I thought this one it's just a new brand of gummies, like candy gummies, not magic gummies. But I was going to give you a quiz. It's new gummies. They're extra large. Ooh. And they have the head of an athlete who used to live here in Orlando.
They are Curly Neal Orlando Magic gummies.
You're on the right track, actually.
Yeah.
Big shaved head.
Oh, is it Shaquille O'Neal?
Shakalicious XL gummies.
All right.
They're just his.
And
They're only at Walmart, and there's big fat head.
And they're
you
not
literally like chew on his forehead.
And they're not cannabis.
No,
they're straight up
they're
like
peach,
gummy bears.
orange, and berry punch.
Okay, so there's just sugar in them?
Yeah. They're just plain old regular gummies.
I need drugs.
yeah.
Or some sort of, at least melatonin to give my son.
I mean, I could probably see him starting with this, and then if the flavors are okay, so, it only takes a guy with a check to reach out to Shaquille and say, like, hey, we like your big fat XXL heads, and we want to make them into, like, adult gummies.
Or you put some sort of mushroom in there, and then...
That'd be fine.
Because that's...
Yeah, that's hip right now.
You don't need the psilocybin mushroom, but if you just put any mushroom, they like and then market it like like mushroom gummy. People will buy them. They have no idea which mushroom gives you the hallucinations.
Have you been? Well, obviously you have because you
do
deal
that
with
already.
products. But you go into Target and it's like 1,000 different kinds of mushroom ointments and little pills, and then you put them on on your dissolvables for your tongue. A Band-Aid. This Band-Aid has mushrooms on it.
I haven't done any of those.
Yeah, everything is. I haven't done them since Flagler College.
Oh,
I meant the legal mushrooms.
Yeah,
I haven't done the illegal mushrooms.
I have not done. I've only done illegal mushrooms. I have never done legal mushrooms.
Well, there's mushrooms everywhere.
I eat them.
Yeah.
I love mushrooms.
That's the same. I mean, then there's like the other ones that are like maybe closer in the family to the psilocybin ones, and I think that's what
that's where it gets because
those are the ones
that
you buy at the gas station. You just have nightmares for a month.
I don't think they do anything. I think you need the straight psilocybin,
the real ones,
and that's the only thing that works. And then there's some other like real crazy ones, but you can't get that.
Those are like semi. You're like poisoning yourself, and they have to bring you back to life.
Yeah. You have some sort of like dream that you think lasts 20 years, and it's only 5 seconds.
That's what I want.
I saw the beginning of the universe.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want to see the end of the universe.
So, John, what do we got first?
Okay, you got a couple little bowls there in front of you. These are ramen noodles, Nissin cup noodle.
Okay.
One of the regular ones you find. But every once in a while they put out a special flavor.
These are beautiful bowls.
This is one of them. God. This is, again, a Walmart exclusive. They're doing a lot of exclusive things. So
twist it around your
tear
fork,
into that and tell me what you think it is. This kind of doesn't have a lot of broth. It just kind of cooks into the noodles.
Yeah, gotcha.
I feel like this is the first time you've done hot foods, John. Is this correct?
I brought in those spam muffins.
I like being fed like a big fat radio pig.
All right.
It's sweet.
Okay, yeah.
Sweet.
I like my ramen salty.
Yeah.
So when I first bit into it,
I
was
like the sweet.
I was expecting salty.
Yeah, I don't like the sweet.
I like Asian noodles salty, not sweet. So
I'll give you a hint. They have done breakfast, which is maple syrup, pancake, sausage, and egg flavored. Okay. This is not that.
Okay.
Is it chocolate?
Yeah, you're on. The chocolate's one of the big things.
Sweet chocolate.
Is
it fudge?
Some
Fudge
sort of brownie?
Fudgy
ramen?
noodles.
You got chocolate. You got. I'll give you a hint. You got marshmallow.
Oh, s'mores. Okay.
Campfire s'more ramen noodles in sauce.
That's barf. Yeah. That is straight barf.
It made it worse.
Now you know what it is. Like,
if you'd have just left it alone and said, like, it's sweet and sour, I'd have been like, okay. But since you called it s'mores, I'm like, well, now we have to kick you out of the studio. That's horrible, John.
Because even weirder, so it's got chocolate, marshmallow, and graham cracker in there. But then also it still has some regular stuff like garlic powder and onion powder.
Yuck.
You know what? If I was Mr. Ramen at the board meeting and I'm like, all right, we need new ideas for some new flavors, some promotional flavors to get out in our fall line, and then someone raises their hand and they're like, how about s'mores? I'm like, you're fired. I give them a good old trophy.
Go clean out your desk.
And they get the hell out of
here. I'm in a union. We don't care. Get out of here.
And then I'll say, let it be known that if you throw out a stupid idea like that, you will be fired. And they don't scare everybody into giving me good ideas.
Maybe we should, instead of saying there are no dumb ideas, we should say there are a few dumb ideas. There are some dumb ideas.
Yeah. And then when you say them, you'll be fired. So just think about it.
We live in a land with no consequences anymore, John.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you notice like a little kind of funny aftertaste? Like,
I do.
Like a fake sugar aftertaste?
Yeah,
I do.
It's because they use sucralose in this, which is Splenda.
Oh, God.
And the reason they do that is because you got to microwave this stuff for 3 minutes, and if you put sugar in it, it'd burn. And artificial sweeteners don't burn like that.
Well, hold on a second. That should be the advertisement to not eat artificial sweeteners, right? Because if it's flame retardant and I'm eating it, right?
Yeah.
I like to eat things that burn because they're organic.
Adding.
That's the worst thing. Even like that may have beat. Do you think that
God.
beats? Do you think that beats Fruity Pebble Lays?
It would be the last choice I'd ever want in ramen noodles.
Could you eat the whole
flavor.
bowl? I honestly can tell you after you told me what it is with the texture.
Made me
there's
disgusted.
no.
Yeah.
I will gag. Who wants to see Gag Man? Because I can throw up right now.
All right, so that is, and it's obviously
It's just for the fun.
for promotion, for marketing, right?
I don't think anybody's going to buy a 12-pack and love it that much.
Yeah, no one wants this.
But there
no
will be that one
demanded it.
person that's like, oh, I love it so much. You're like, you're just doing that because you want attention. You're starved for attention because your parents hated you.
I will slap you with my hat.
That's good.
Or you
That's
either
good.
be fired, or if you like it, I will slap you with
And
my
do you
hat.
know how insulting that is? Because he doesn't wear hats. He's going to have to go to his car. He's going to
thought that
go
was
to
the
his car
magic
and
of
get
radio.
his hat.
Yeah.
He only wears it when he's running.
All right, what do we got next?
So
here?
I think we talked about this last time I was in here. All dressed potato chips.
Yes, they're big in Canada.
Yeah, big in Canada and actually big in prison.
Yes.
There's a brand called the Whole Shebang.
Yeah, they sell them at 7-Eleven, and my ladies at my 7-Eleven told me, they're like, baby, those chips started in jail. And I was like, okay, I'm not falling for this racist trap you're setting for me.
So
I'm not going to agree with you.
I love
They're
racist
basically,
traps.
they're basically a mix of different chips. So it's barbecue, salt and vinegar, and ketchup. Some of them also have sour cream and onion in there. But this one is just barbecue, salt, vinegar, and ketchup. These are from Aldi.
Oh, are you a fan of the Aldi?
Yeah,
What do you think?
depends. I don't buy everything there, but
Yeah.
like, they got a lot of good produce.
Okay.
And then some of the weird stuff. They always have weird chips. Like they had beer flavored. I think I brought those in once. They bring the brat flavored potato chips.
I think
once
we
before.
had those.
So here, give those a try. That's all
I'll
dressed.
just grab 2 of these guys here. Thank you, sir.
There you go. Just go ahead and grab the bags up.
Oh, God.
Go on now.
Those are great.
Yeah, and then people might know like wrap snacks. Lil Baby has a version of this same kind
Damn,
of flavor.
Aldi don't skimp on the salt. I'll tell you that. Woo!
It's a little bit of the vinegar too. I think kind of sneaks up on you and makes you
that's
think
good.
it's saltier than
That's
it is.
real good.
When you shop at Aldi, it tells me you're poor, but not so trashy.
Yeah.
That's right. You know,
You're poor but not dumb.
Yeah,
I kind of end up shopping everywhere, not just for this. Like you get.
He
your
wasn't
stuff.
attacking
You
you.
go to just
He
no, but I
wasn't,
mean,
I
you go to
promise you.
just
He was-
Publix.
he was-
I mean, there's a little
bit. There was a little
I go to Walmart a lot more than I used to.
I love Walmart. I go there all the time.
Well, the key to going to Walmart is you got to go at 7 or 8 in the morning on Sunday. That's because everybody's in church, so you can go in and it's not crowded and it's not crazy.
Yeah.
I'll probably see you there. Andrea loves Walmart. We go a lot. I enjoyed the savings. And their fishing department is very good. Very good.
The one thing that is it's hard to buy, like I would just need one onion. And Walmart doesn't really sell just like one onion. They sell like a bag of onions. Stuff like that.
A big bag. It's huge. It's
Or
like
like 2 apples. No, you got to buy a
like
bag.
a 5-pound cat litter box of onions.
What do we got? I like those chips.
Yeah, those are delicious.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's one. There's a little. It looks like peanut butter sitting right there on the table, and some crackers. If you want to dig into that, that is. It's and Crystal might like this one. This is. Do you let the kids eat sugar?
No, yeah. I mean, John, what? I mean, come on. We've known each other long enough. You should know that my kids.
Do you let the kids eat sugar when your wife is working?
There's a limited amount of actual parenting going on in the Van household. You know, it's
the boys.
We do the bare minimum.
They do ice cream with ice cream for dessert.
Yeah,
right?
like, I get them to school, pick them up from school. You know, there's some other things like they're fed all the time. They got new clothes.
I gotta grab a water.
But as far as their diet,
Yeah, well, that's good. That's really good.
Here, now give it a try. See what you think. So this is. Well, here I'll wait until you tell us what you think of it before I tell you what it is.
All right.
But it's thick like peanut butter. It doesn't have peanuts. It doesn't have any nuts in it.
Oh wow!
Tastes like pumpkin pie.
Yeah, that is.
It's good. I actually enjoyed that with the cracker. It kind of tastes like pumpkin pie.
You could put it on fruit. You could put it in a smoothie.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So that is some sort of spicy.
It's like allspice with like some, I don't know, something.
Like autumn flavor.
Yeah. It's Oat House granola butter.
All right.
So it's the predominant thing in there is oats. They call it a spreadable granola. This is the original. They also do cinnamon roll, cookie dough, banana bread, wild berry, stuff like that. So it is, let's see, nut-free, soy-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, and vegan, except for the ones that have marshmallows in
These are homeschool products, right? These are products primarily for kids that are homeschooled. Weirdo kids, right? They always get like, you go over to their house, and they're great kids. So you go over to their house to eat, and they're like, you're like, can I have a peanut butter sandwich? And they're like, you can have a spreadable granola sandwich on inflatable, hibiscus bread.
Like, oh my God. You just give me some Peter Pan peanut butter.
Exactly. Give me the Jif.
Yeah. It's all chemicals, no
Jif's
peanuts.
leaning in. Do you see Jif is leaning into their trashiness? Do you know their new phrase? It's so jiffing good. They're just going full vulgarity because they're like, we're Walmart, just do it, give them the full Jif.
Yeah, and then it's like it's some sort of sugar product. Like, this is a sugar product, contains 0 peanut butter. And you're
it's
like,
a
okay,
peanut flavored sugar product. You idiot!
It's a peanut flavored spread.
It's artificial peanut spread sugar.
I think like putting this in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich would probably be overkill, but
it's really not bad. Look, I don't.
It reminds me of the airplane cookies, the Biscoff cookies.
Yeah. It's got a good flavor. The only thing I would say with that, it is off-putting when you dunk your cracker in and pull it out. It's gritty. It's like, and I'm not talking about
doing the all natural because I doubt I haven't looked when the ingredients are all the way over there. I bet there's no hydrogenated oil in it or stuff like that.
Sure.
Because if you leave it for a day or two, it'll separate a little bit. You got to stir it up again. But I bought this at Publix, but I know. Hang on, let me get my notes here. Whole Foods, Target, Sprouts have it too.
That's good.
Like that.
Yeah, I like that.
And then I put, let's see, what do we got? We got 2 left.
Can you bring peanut butter to school?
I don't know these days.
Because I
you
remember
guys would know better than me.
At Maisie's daycare, you could not do peanut anything.
It depends on how
rich your school is.
In the neighborhood you live in.
Okay.
The richer the neighborhood, the less the peanut butter. In Castleberry, peanut butter crazy. They shoot it out of a peanut butter tin.
They have a can.
They feed it a trough. It's just stick their heads in.
I'm hungry. Go eat the peanut butter trough.
This is a side diversion, but when I was a kid and it was somebody's turn to bring stuff to class for their birthday, it was kind of embarrassing if you brought grocery store cupcakes or you bring something your mom made. And I understand these days a lot of schools want you to bring prepackaged because
they make you.
They're afraid you have a dirty house.
And they're probably right.
Well,
I've seen your house. It's disgusting.
It's the paranoia of the parents, and that's the problem. Is that every parent is paranoid, thinking that some other parent's going to poison.
I got an email, dude. I got an email for bringing I brought donuts from one of the Donut King or something up front. I set them up front, and then they sent an email to Andrea saying, hey, in the future, if your husband wants to drop off donuts for us, no peanut butter donuts. I'm like, oh, my God. Well, that's the last time you get donuts. No donuts for you ever again. That was it. It dried up after that.
That's the rich schools and their peanut butter allergies and all that.
What else you got?
Let's see. I got some bacon there in front of both of you. There's a trend now toward flavored bacons.
Flavored bacon.
Like Hormel started doing it, but they haven't really found it here yet. So this one is actually... Publix has, I think, 4. What's their healthier brand? Greenwise.
Greenwise.
So they have 4 Greenwise bacons now. I really like this one.
Wow, that's excellent.
That's good. Now this is what I'm talking about. Some bacon. Like that is never not going to be good.
Now they call this cowboy bacon.
All right.
So
made a real cowboy.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm very predictable. My humor is extremely predictable.
We have Twinkies coming up later. I already know the joke's coming there too. Ancho pepper, cayenne, red bell pepper, black pepper, mustard, garlic, coffee, cocoa powder, brown sugar, and smoke. Those are the main things.
Wow, that's delicious.
That's great with breakfast. I made a BLT with it the other day. That was pretty good too.
Yeah, like remember when the study came out? I want to say it was like a couple of years ago, and I think I heard it on the Jim Colbert show where they were talking about how if you eat 5 slices of bacon, that honestly, like doctors have said, that removes 9 months of your life. And I'm like, that cannot be true.
That's probably, how long ago was this?
I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago or something, but that can't be true.
Well, you notice bacon isn't cured anymore. Everything says uncured on it. So the nitrates are the thing they're supposed to be bad for you. Now, I'm not going to say bacon is healthy for you, but everybody's worried about the nitrates, and so they don't, the way they've prepared bacon these days, nitrates are, I don't know if they're non-existent, but they're much lower. And that's why if you look at almost all bacon says uncured on it. And so they use stuff like, I don't know what this does, but they use stuff like celery powder and cherry powder, and those help mimic whatever you're missing from bacon when we were kids.
Cherry berry powder. That's what girls put on their cheeks.
I think it just turns out that just sugar and carbs are what you stay away from. Like
bologna too, like Oscar
too
Mayer
much of
bologna.
anything,
They don't. That's uncured. Most cold cuts are not cured.
Dude,
anymore
bologna
either.
slaps too. I love bologna, man. Like a big old piece of thick cut, cold.
Oh, with the red stuff around the outside. Yeah.
I mean, that was the snack. You'd come in after riding your bike. You'd run to the fridge. You'd open it up. You'd look. There's nothing. You'd reach in. Thick slice of bologna. You'd peel off that red piece. Ice cold bologna. Start eating it. Oh my God, so good! Ice cold bologna. And a Sunkist or some sort of Diet Coke, iced tea.
You wrap some Velveeta cheese, which is also not cheese.
Yeah,
some oil.
That's good.
Cheese like oil. Oh, delicious.
Love
two different meat like products. Or dairy. One meat, one dairy. Go to town.
So where is this bacon found?
I found it at Publix.
Right,
It's a Publix brand. They don't have it in with the regular bacon. They have it in the where all the steaks and pork chops and all that.
Oh, all right. You're gonna have to go. Go to the regular meat case, not the case that has like hot dogs, and because your normal bacon is with hot dogs.
Yes, yeah.
Welcome back to a corporate time.
Crystal Van is in studio. How you doing, Crystal?
Hey, I'm good.
Good to see
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Thanks for being here.
One half of the Bart Merrick team, BartTheRealtor.com. So, a couple things. I got an observation.
God.
You have the observation
Can't just
song?
rebrand it.
Oh, the observation music. I've been having to move my buttons around. I don't have it. I don't have it free in front of me. But these are just observations.
You gotta prep him for that.
Yeah, and then
You just spring it on him at the last
and you're
minute.
supposed to be like, these are not grapes, the observations. There you go.
As I get older, I don't know if Daniel's like this, but this is becoming a real problem. I can't think of anything to talk about until we hit record and start the show.
I've noticed that.
And then all of a sudden it's like it floods in.
I have noticed that.
And then that's the only, I think about what should we talk about? I have nothing. And then as soon as it's go time, then I think of a million things.
Lately, I've noticed that I think of tons of great things to talk about. Too lazy to write them down. And I let them fly away. And then I'm like, there'll be more.
Oh, you got to grab that.
No, I always go, there'll be more because
then there's not more.
idea, there isn't more. They're fleeting. They're like, as soon as they're gone, like there's not an endless supply of them.
Yeah.
And while they're floating away from me, I'll be laying in bed, but I'm too stoned, maybe too drunk to even do anything. I just let them fly away.
So I dream about being the type of dad that has he goes out and it does these grandiose things with his sons, and they accomplish all these huge things.
You've been trying this for 10 years.
They hike the Appalachian Trail together, and then they're like, we climbed Mount Everest, my boys.
I think what you're referencing to is like a 0.0000001% of dads. Like those people don't exist. The adventure dads?
And the only thing that I've been able to get so far is cross country, where in 2 days a week, me and my sons will get to, and this started
and
last
your wife,
year.
I also come.
Crystal.
But you don't matter. You don't matter. Apparently, you don't matter.
I'm out there running too.
Excuse me, miss. This man was talking to another man.
Sorry,
You better sit on the couch there, miss. Ma'am, excuse me, two men talking? The hell's wrong with you?
When I see man climbs Mount Everest with wife, I'm like, oh my God. Why'd you do that?
What a disaster.
Or the sons. Anyway, so the cross country. So I was looking forward to this, and this is my last year.
By the way, I can speak on that because I matter less than you because I'm a man that can't produce boys. Just so you know.
So I was looking forward to this year of cross country because I was like, all right, this is my last year. Tommy's in 5th grade, so he's going to middle school next year.
God, you act like he's going off to UF and you'll never see him. But come on.
No, but they don't do the cross. I mean, the last year of this cross country program in elementary school.
There might be another
There's going to be a middle school
but they don't let the parents run with them.
Yeah,
How do
because
you know?
shouldn't be. I'm going to finally say what should be said. Butt the hell out of your kids' dreams. Stay out of the way. They don't want you there. Maisie doesn't want me dancing.
They do. They want me there.
They don't.
No, Maisie, she's already
No, they don't want you there. They don't want you there. They need to do stuff without you, and they will thrive without you because you are a anchor, and you are dragging them to the depths of hell.
No, and especially this year because I imagine the coach is going to pull me up in front of the whole class and be like, Tom did a sprint triathlon, and now he's training for a half marathon.
The coach is You think the coach
And
is
then
gonna,
I'm like, all
he's
right,
the coach.
all right.
He's not going to bring somebody else up to be a better version of what he should do.
No, well, I don't know why. I don't know what he's accomplished.
I want everyone to
don't
know
running
that you're
or-
joking. Please.
No. I honestly believe he uses the jokes on this show to cover his real thoughts. I swear to God, he's got to stop doing.
Get out of my head!
I think he always, because here's something I've noticed. He'll be like, "I want to run with my boys," and I'll be like, "You shouldn't do that. You can't do everything with your sons." And he'll be like, "Yes, I can. Yes, I can." And then he'll be like, "I'm just joking." No, you're not. You're not joking. You're not joking.
Well,
dude.
I wait till you see how you feel about it, and then I just go that whatever. I have to go whatever the way it is. But he feels.
That's
I'll be like, I'm with you. Anyway, so and they'll bring me, and I'll tell the kids, I'm like, all right, what you have to do is get past the first couple of miles, and then you get into this state. This
Aren't
running
some of
state.
these kids
Huh?
better runners than you?
Well, that's the only age, but they don't know the technique, and they don't know the.
I wish you guys could see him running. He's there's no technique going on.
You're gonna
You
lean
said
forward.
you just run
you're gonna-
really, really slow, and you never stop.
Yeah, but that's what these kids have to learn. Anyway, this is not the point. The point is, and I'm looking forward to this cross country because it's my last year with both my sons, and I was like, all right,
It's not your last year with both your sons. They are still going to be your kids
No, and
forever.
Technically, it's their last year doing cross country with some dumb man running behind
No,
them. It's let them have their own stuff.
Some they do invite the parents, and there are a number of parents who come and join, and they do like it that the parents are involved.
Yeah. And then this year, I'm looking forward to being the fastest dad. Last year, there was this karate guy that was faster than
goddamn
me.
karate dads are always showing guys up.
And he, but this year,
Yeah.
I think I have a chance that I'll be.
And that really matters to you, right?
I'll be the
That's a thing, right? Like, it's like that's on the. That's up
No,
there.
I'm just joking.
We've been doing this so long that we can just vaudeville our way down the road, right? You.
Anyway,
I love you, and you crack me up.
This is not the point.
And I mean that. I do love this guy. He cracks me up.
The point is
that's so
that I was at dinner the other night. This is like last week, and
you're dreaming of this thing that you love so much.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. It starts in October, and then last week,
Oh, my God.
then Crystal brings up because Max is now, he's in 4th grade, he's eligible for the certain extra activities the school offers.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so Crystal brings up like, hey, I know you guys are doing cross country, but there are other things like chorus and violin that the school offers you could take.
You already said that weird. You said that weird.
What do you mean?
You said it as if you hate both of them. Right? Did you hear
He
that?
also told it wrong.
I just said it.
He also told it wrong because
Okay.
Max said to me, now that I'm in 4th grade, I want to try violin and chorus.
Oh, that's a different.
That was
phrase.
another. That was
Wait a minute. That's a I and a one.
yeah.
And then he gave different things. Now,
Yeah.
this is, I'm not saying I'm any better at parenting than you, but when Maisie says the thing she wants to do, A, I don't necessarily think I need to be there with her, and B, I try to accommodate those things because
Encouragement.
because you don't want to always feel like your idea is dumb because your dad wants you to do something else, because then you'll never find your own identity, and then maybe you'll be rudderless human like EJ, and then you're a big fat zero.
Oh, why did you say that?
I don't know. I think that's what
Right, we say that. He likes
That's a thing? Okay.
That's
He
our
likes
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Well, so at dinner, all I said was, what if you have the choice, because if chorus is on the same time as cross country, what are you going to choose? Or what if violin is on the same time as chorus? What are you going to choose? Which
Great
would
question.
you rather? So that's all I was asking. And TC immediately got stiff in his chair and was like, well,
Oh, he does that when he's mad. You know what? Last time I saw that is when he looked at me and he goes, "Well, I hold my tongue a lot." And I'm like, "Oh, damn! This guy."
You should have never said that.
Yeah. Oh, it's burned in my brain.
Yeah,
It's in
no.
the back. You have those, right?
one time he told me that I try to control every little thing everybody does.
Yeah, the kids. He said, "Why do you always try to?" Yeah, I burned that one into my brain.
Yeah,
That's not even
burned.
part of my family, and I burned it into my brain. That's how sensitive I am.
Yeah, you got to keep those things to yourself.
That's how sensitive I am. Is that you told me that, and I'm like, I'm going to burn that in my brain.
God damn
So
it.
when we ask you to communicate more, we don't mean wait until you are at a breaking point and then say a mean thing.
You get
What we
bristly.
mean is
you do get stiff. And
Well,
then
that's the only time I want to say it.
He gets stiff, and then he goes, because as soon as you ask, like, well, which one would you rather do? And then he Edge of chair,
Yeah,
right? I think you go stiff one.
I that's what like a detective. It's intimidation. It's like if you just say you did it now, then everything will be fine.
He's also shirtless now at dinner. He's always shirtless.
That's an intimidation move. Yeah.
So at the
He's
dinner
like, look at how
table-
fit I am.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to pass out from laughing.
So then it turns into, we got to stick to our commitments. We can't make commitments and break them. We really need to.
Well, he's not. He's finishing out the season. He's switching to something else. There's a Publix commercial now about a ballerina that's doing dance all the time. And the kids are like kind of pressured because, like dance is, like you're getting yelled at. You get yelled at a lot. And the little girl in the Publix commercial like looks at her dad and he can tell she doesn't want to do it anymore. And then the ending of the commercial is her switching to like soccer. And then she's like so excited that her dad gave her the ability to like transition to something that she would rather do.
Well, I'd be happy if you went from a ballerina to soccer.
Yeah. Oh, I would be too, but it's not up to me. Like, I don't want Maisie, if I'm just being honest with Crystal, I don't want Maisie, like, I wouldn't tell her this, but I would rather her do something that I enjoy, like soccer or drums. I'd love her to do drums or music, but I didn't get that.
Well, all I'm saying is I don't think Max knows what he wants because he doesn't understand what violin even is, I think.
Right.
And then the chorus, I mean, what?
Well, he won't know unless he tries
Exactly. That's the thing. The kids don't know what they want, and they have to try things to know if they like them or not.
You really do talk to him like he's dumb.
And you can
like that was like she was doing hands. Like
he's done 2 seasons of cross country. He's completed both seasons. He can run outside with you if you want him to run. And I just think it should be celebrated that our 9-year-old wants to try something as like girl heavy as chorus and violin. There's not a lot of rough and tumble boys who are signing up for violin, but
maybe he's an elevated smarty pants and he knows that there's the girls there.
He might. And he loves music, TC. He loves to sing.
Oh, look at the disappointment in his face.
His voice is terrible.
You know
can
what?
Learn pitch.
You made the face of a young Dan Reamsden as my dad when my mom was like, he wants to sing and dance and he wants to be a drummer and he's starting with flute. And my dad was like, what? He's going to play the flute. And my mom's like, yes, he's playing the flute and he's going to study at Stetson University under the Suzuki method. And I studied flute under the Suzuki method, and my dad's like, oh God, the flute's just a robot. I'll cut that out. But I know that's what my dad thought. I know my dad thought that it was the gayest thing ever. In fact, that wasn't even my first instrument. My first instrument was accordion. I went accordion, flute, drums. I feel like chorus and violin are way better than flute.
Yeah. So what am I supposed to tell the other dads and the coach when I show up if Max isn't there?
Tommy will be there.
They were like, "Where's Max?" And then I got to be like, "He chose violin."
Yeah, you have to say it like that. You have to say, "Well, let me just tell you, he turned his back on all of his running brothers, and he's decided to join the Asians and fiddle. He's a fiddler now."
Yeah. You know who plays the violin? That lazy grasshopper, just fiddling away the whole summer while the goddamn running turtle
is
stores
the food. You messed that all up, but I'm with you.
Whatever that is, it's a thing. Anyway, so why do they have to do it in the mornings? The whole thing is, I liked getting up early, going to the cross country with my sons, and then running early, and we're like, look how much better we are than everybody else.
It'll still be early. We'll all still go to the school together at the same time, and one party might just go to the building and the other 3 are going to be running in the field.
Yeah, but Tommy's never going to run.
Max is holding him in. Was Max the glue?
Yeah. Because
you need to be honest.
As soon as Max is out, Tommy's like, well, I quit too. I hated this the whole time. I know you do.
You need to tell
well, then what am I going to do?
You need to be honest about that then. Like, if you know that, then you need to be honest and communicate to your wife that that's what you're
But that wouldn't make me feel any differently about it.
No, it wouldn't me either.
And then if I show up by myself, then I'm the weirdo dad.
Yeah,
where the other parents are like, what, that dad comes here by himself? And he runs.
He runs and his boys aren't even here.
He's just trying to be faster than that karate guy.
What about going to the? What if you go to the violin practices and just sit creepily in the corner?
No, well, that's not.
He might have a little concert.
Yeah, and you can dress up for it.
No, but that's not me being involved. Yeah.
You got to go to that. I did that. I go to Maisie's first dancing. Oh, she's doing like a tumble. It's horrible. You go and you say, it's good.
So TC at the dinner table was saying his spiel about we make these commitments and we can't break them, and you gotta if you want to be a successful adult.
If I had a recording of this and played it for the listeners, would they be like, like would they explode?
Well, of course they would.
Okay.
And so in the middle of it, Max lays down on the dining room bench and he goes, "Your opinions are always negative."
I don't remember it like that.
He sang a song.
He did. He sang it. He's like,
but if he sang it, that's his. He's showing you he wants music. He's saying his insult to you.
"Oh, that's funny. I didn't think of that."
No, but I'm serious. Like, the boy loves music.
No, he's getting, just like our listeners, they get negative, confused with being a realist or being skeptical or just,
well, you're
telling
saying,
you it's straight.
You're saying, though, that running, you're valuing like a running club over a violin club. And like, where's the... I don't think you can do that.
Well,
TC said 100% he will not play violin because he's not going to learn how to do it. He's not going to become good at it. It's not going to benefit him at all. 100%.
He's predicting the future. He doesn't even know.
But if he runs and he gets into exercise, that will benefit his life long term.
Oh, I see what he's saying. But like,
and violin will do nothing.
What
for
a
him.
horrible way to think your life is pigeonholed into only the things your dad has decided are worthy of you. Right? Yeah. What a horrible way to live.
Sometimes though, Daniel, I think you and I can do good work together by putting a mirror up in front of him, because maybe he doesn't see how he's coming off to other people. And when he listens to only me, it's not valid.
The thing that I think he would get to him is, I know in his core there's nothing he loves more than those boys. Mm-hmm. And if you hit him with don't you just want them to be happy? Make their own decisions.
That wouldn't work, because he would say,
it wouldn't work?
I want them to be happy long term, and this is the plan, and this is how it's going to happen.
Well, they don't even know what makes them happy, because they got
Tommy
dreams in his eyes.
When's the last time you asked them?
No, but I say that, and they're like, I don't know. then I'm like, well, you like this? He's like, yeah, okay. I was like, well, you're not even passionate about it. You're just saying whatever.
That's how you are.
Yeah, well, I'll explain.
That's interesting. This is an interesting conversation.
I know what I know because my sons are my DNA, and they were cursed by it, and your DNA too.
I hate that.
I know.
It is setting yourself up for failure when you say things like that.
Don't
do
that.
It is a little bit. I agree with her there.
Celebrate these things, and there's none of it is bad and should be looked at.
I'll explain. So when you're,
let me explain, you idiot. Let me mansplain.
What was your other one? How can I make these people look stupid? I like that one.
When you're Deion Sanders' son, and your son wants to play QB in the NFL, you're like, you got a chance. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he does. Honestly, I don't think.
Well,
he does.
Well, he's got a chance.
He's too erratic back there. I don't like him.
All I know more of a chance than Max.
Is he got a chance? And then when my sons, I know what they are capable of, and I know what they're not going to be.
I think that's a dangerous statement. I never like limiting anybody, right? Like, I would hate. Like, that's limiting, I feel like. It is, because you don't know, and I can make this statement, you absolutely do not know the limits of Max's musical identity. You don't know.
Okay.
Because you don't understand music. I don't think you understand music, and I do understand music, and I went to school for it. So when I look at somebody, like, imagine if somebody said, oh, you absolutely, there's no way. You're like, I think a lot of that limiting talk is, it's dangerous.
You're right.
So also, I just want to add on to that by saying, when you were a younger person, would anybody that ever knew you or encountered you think that you would be good at talking for a living on a microphone?
And he's the best storyteller I know.
Yeah,
he's the greatest storyteller.
You're
they'd say no.
Quiet, shy, reserved. You have turned into a totally different.
He's the greatest storyteller I know.
You came from a caterpillar and turned into a moth.
No, don't use that's a gay analogy. He hates that.
I was trying to be funny and not say butterfly.
I know.
Moths are ugly.
Yeah, he already had turned it off.
Well, that's a direct result in my mom telling me I could do anything I wanted. Was it delusional?
But it wasn't. wasn't though, because
and then I had a delusion that I was like, I could do anything I put my mind to.
So why don't you do the same thing for your kids and tell them that they can do anything, and then let them find what they want and what they're good at?
Because he's scared.
Instead of saying,
scared.
no, I can't do that. My dad said that's not, like, in the back of their head, they're going to be like, well, that's not good enough. I need to be.
Are you afraid they'll fail? Because I am. I'm afraid Maisie will get. My personal fear right now is she likes dance so much and is so into it that she will get to a point and gas out and not have the talent for it, but want to do it and see her friends leave her behind. That scares the crap out
That's
of her.
very specific.
She's already got the talent and
I don't know.
the mentality to grind to surpass any natural talent. I mean, that's what I see in the NFL. It's like the people that aren't built like Terrell Owens.
Right.
They have to just grind their ass off, and then they have some sort of
like your Edelmans.
That's how he becomes MVP of the Super Bowl. Is just because he
works the hardest.
Yeah, works the hardest, and that's what Maisie's got. Anyway, I understand. I shouldn't limit my son.
No, I mean it's a touchy conversation too, because
but it's kind of handicapping the future. It's like I don't know the outcome of NFL games, but I can use the information that I have to try to guess the outcome.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing here. And guessing the outcome of what a violin and a chorus will do as compared to a cross-country exercise type.
So he's 9. Okay. Most people who become athletic in their adulthood don't start at 9. You know what I mean? Like, you start when you start getting into puberty, you start noticing muscles are coming.
Baby Tarzan did. I was going to point that out. Baby Tarzan did. So he started at 5.
You start noticing how the fitness makes you feel when you're growing into becoming a young man. But this is a boy who's like, and if you talk about how they don't really want to do anything, they don't have any passions. I mean, the fact that he has these 2 new things he wants to try, I feel like should be celebrated, and we should encourage him to try those new things.
Okay, that's a good point.
Because not only if he doesn't maybe he doesn't like them, but he was willing to try them, and that might lead into, okay, well, I could just try something else. You know, maybe I'll try another thing. But if you keep him in one thing all the time and only focus on one type of activity, then he maybe will be less willing to try new things and find the job that he likes, and find the right person.
Can you talk a little louder? He's on his phone. I'm joking.
I feel
I was surprised he didn't interrupt me.
You are like reading off a political statement, exactly what you should do by any professional, and I'm telling you the truth.
Well, it's your truth. It's your truth.
I'm telling you how it is.
Yeah, but it's your truth. And he and I butt heads all the time on the predicting the future. Like, we had one the other day where, like, I'll give you an example for the company. Like, we're trying to scale things down, and I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying we obviously disagree on this. Like, if we scale things down, he'll be like, well, I'm thinking of getting rid of this. And I'm like, well, we can't. We got to do that. And he's like, well, why do we got to do that? And I'm like, because if you don't do it, you're failing. Like, you have to do something. Like, so there's this weird, like, he's like, well, but what if that's not value? What if we get no value out of that in the future? And I'm like, then we didn't get any value out of it, and we're going to try something else. I'm not always in it to be right. I'm just in it. And sometimes it will be wrong. And then I'd like to think that what I learned from it being wrong isn't just the I told you so of, well, see, I knew it. We shouldn't have done. You know what I mean?
He and we've talked about this before.
It's a trap.
This turned on you, this whole topic that you were going to bring up. What was this? As an observation.
Or maybe
totally turned on
we
you.
ganged up on him, I think.
Well,
that's not fair.
So
I love traps.
He does love traps.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh,
what were you just saying?
I was just talking about how, like, when you try to predict the future, sometimes, you spend a lot of time doing that. And to me, I'm just like, it'd be quicker and easier just to fail.
We've talked before about how he struggles with living in the moment. Like, you're always like thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And like, maybe you're trying to predict the future. You're trying to see 5 years down the road. But I think that takes away from living in the moment and seeing what's going on now, and like appreciating your sweet little cute 9-year-old boy, like holding a violin and doing it, and trying it and learning it, listening to the instructor, following the instructions, getting the notes, there's so much value learned there.
Yeah, Stetson Children's Choir soloist right here.
I remember that video.
Do you know how much a violin costs?
No, they have loan. You don't have to buy it.
Yeah, you rent it.
Yeah.
And you get some
rent it from
listener
the
to give you
school.
one.
Yeah,
Evil
yeah.
Eye's probably got 50 of them in his house.
And I know schools, and guess what they do? They all of a sudden the teacher's like, you could rent this cheapo Bobo violin, or
I want to sing Max's song. What was it? Your opinions are always negative.
Yeah, you're predicting the future again.
You've got a local music partner here, and you can purchase your own violin and pay monthly, and it'll be paid off in 14 years.
I think I have figured it out.
It's only $875.
Is it about the money?
And you really helped me. It's not about the money. Do anything for those boys. It's the idea of just like trying to live your life making all the right decisions.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And it's an obsession.
Yeah.
Of like, I got to do everything right. And
You're
I'm
right,
like,
Daniel.
not me, man. Because I'll tell you what, this afternoon, I'm going to poop my pants and drink beer. I'm going to fall down. Yeah.
It steals the joy. But I think that since you don't have joy, maybe you're not missing.
Jesus
that was
Christ.
a low blow.
You're not missing
a low
anything.
blow.
No, I've got joy.
Do you?
Yeah. No, that's what the emotional people around me.
Oh, he's doing it.
They always look and they're like, "Why aren't you happy?" I mean,
I live with you.
But you would be happy, right? Like if let's say he was naturally talented at the violin, and let's say you bought the violin and he got it and he's and he's fiddling his balls off, right? You would be like, you'd be telling me about it, you'd be telling everybody about it, you'd be videoing it.
Oh yeah, then he's on the like social media.
So you gotta let him try some stuff.
Yeah. But the likelihood of that happening.
Oh man, I hate that. He does it a lot with me.
Listen, hold on. He goes
He's
to
like, that's not
breakdancing.
gonna happen.
You take him to breakdancing.
Yes.
And you harp on, if he doesn't want to go, we came back from an 11-day vacation and he didn't want to go the next day to breakdancing, which I'm like, of course you don't. You have one weekend left of summer. We just got back from this long trip. Oh, it's fine. You don't want to go. He was, you got to make your commitments. You got to keep going your commitments.
I like that.
Anyway, my point is,
that,
I got sidetracked, but my point is, he's not going to be a breakdancer, but you still want him to go to breakdancing. So if he's not going to be a violinist, why can't he go to violin?
Well, the breakdancing
Or chorus and learn pitch.
Breakdancing is less gay than violin, though. I mean, that's a thing for dads.
He loves to sing, and he has terrible pitch, but he could find it if he could learn how, and I feel like then he would enjoy singing more.
Yeah, singing was easier than violin.
In the car, I mean, you just love to sing with the music.
The breakdancing, though, I could write it off as an insane core exercise, because the instructor has abs.
I miss Fat TC.
Yeah, I do too. He's fun. Do you remember back when he was fat and wore Dolphins hats? When he was fat and wore Dolphins hats, fun as hell.
He picked up a bass guitar one day and just figured out how to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really impressive.
It was impressive.
What if your son has a talent?
You do have musical talent because he can drum better. Like when I was working in the morning show, he drummed better than the guy that played drums.
I don't know. No. I think you're remembering somebody else. When he's in the car and drumming on his knees, he is offbeat really bad. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't
Well, I don't want to beat up on you anymore, but
no, that's fine. I
see what you're saying, but I do disagree with you. I'm a big let them find their own way kind of guy.
Yeah, let them try.
I've never steered Maisie into drums. Probably should have. I've never steered her into. Like, I want her to play video games with me. She does not like them. I want her to spend more time with me. I think she'd rather be at the dance studio. And it hurts my feelings. So a lot of times I just sit with my dog sad. So you should just sit with your dog sad.
I just think we should celebrate the fact that he's even willing to try something else. Because a lot of kids are not even willing to try anything. And he has one that he's already tried. He's gotten into breakdancing. He's gotten into cross country. And he's got two that he wants to try. And I think we should let him, and we should be positive about it.
What if you got a violin too? We didn't even go that route. What if you started taking it with him?
It's too hard.
They say,
you like hard
Dad always
things?
tells me I'm not going to be successible.
What?
No, I say that to Tommy when he doesn't want to work. And he said,
and the pressure in the van house.
They live a so easy life. Listen,
but if you want
the pressure, Maisie's putting the pressure on me. I yelled out the other day. I'm like, at dinner, I was like, Maisie's got a full-time job, and she's already taking other people's shifts.
But I don't ask her to do that. She did do that.
No, I was just saying, they're like, what, a full-time job? I'm like, full-time. She's working 30 hours a week now. Dance, school. She eats dinner at her job. Daniel told me.
It's true.
Yeah, well, then my son's barely tie their shoes.
All kids are different, man.
I know they're different. I know all kids are different.
I can't do anything about the shoes.
I gotta say something about the shoe thing. All the shoes now are elastic. Like, even the laces are elastic.
Mine are.
So unless I buy them Chuck Taylors, which they don't like, they don't have to tie their shoes.
No, I know.
So I'm saying, like, and they don't like Chuck Taylors. What am I gonna do? They're all slip-ons. That's how they're made.
Yeah,
until like size 3, and
I'm
we're not
fine
there
with
yet.
That. Like, I can't. I mean, like tying shoes. I remember my god sister taught me.
But then the belt is too loose, and they can't tie the waistband either. The pants are falling down all day. All the pants are made with really wide waists now.
Yeah.
But with an elastic.
You know what I do? That's called a pronoun.
And now, Tommy has a complex about being too skinny. He's the skinny kid.
Oh, really?
He used to be the opposite.
Don't
say that. I'm just saying, my poor son. I wish I was
There's
skinny.
no violins in that world.
Oh, jeez.
All right, we need to get out of here.
A lot of walls, though.
A lot of walls.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You know what I know? If you build a wall, no violins. They can't come in from China. That's where they come in from, by the way. See, he can affect me with just one joke, and then I'm back on his side. That's how quickly I jump ship.
It's the Bart Merrick team, BartTheRealtor.com, if you want to buy or sell
I guess
your
we'll
house.
see how this unfolds. Hey, we'll see how this unfolds.
Listen,
I
I'm
think we
showing
all
up
know how it's going to
I hope we get a...
I'm gonna,
Yeah, it'll be exactly like that. I can't wait.
I'll come over and play my drums with him.
No. I'm going to start throwing. I'm going to be like Unspeakable hates violence. I know. He says Skippity, Ohio.
Did you hear about Mr. Beast? Yeah, he hates violence. He says...
I know what he doesn't like, though. His buddy likes. I'll show you the
His friend
anime.
Ava loves violence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We've got a BDM October event coming up.
Yeah, you don't like the title I picked, I don't feel like. You don't lead with that.
No,
I
like Slobtoberfest.
I think you're afraid it's going to offend. We're doing Slobtoberfest, Tiffany.
Oh.
It's called Slobtoberfest.
No, I'm not afraid of offending everybody. I'm afraid of people thinking it's some gigantic
Festival of Slobs.
Festival of Slobs.
A bum event.
Yeah, a bum event. Yeah.
And it's more of like a hangout, Oktoberfest.
It's a cool, low-key BDM event at Hollybox. We're going to be hanging out, chilling, relaxing, drinking beers, and enjoying all the beautiful German treats that they have. If you've never been to Hollybox, I would say that this is probably one of your best times to go. We can walk you through everything, and you can see everything right there in our own little slice of Germany and Sanford.
Yep, and if you're a BDM, we will send you a personal invite for you and a guest to attend the event. But we do 2 private events each year for BDMs only, and this is going to be one of them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because I'm grubbing on this one.
Yeah.
It's a schnitzel time, baby.
So we're going to do this is a little variation of a weird job where this is just a too many job Wednesday.
Yeah, we're doing a new thing. We've started a new thing called I Can't Stop Creating New Jobs. This is multiple job Wednesdays.
Tiffany didn't even tell me that this was all of a sudden I just see on her Instagram.
Me too. She didn't
they're like,
tell us about
open up a new business.
No time to tell
I'm like, a new business?
She doesn't have any time to tell anybody.
Didn't you just start the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Brand new
2 years ago.
Well, the first 2 years are the hardest.
Yeah, well, not for her. She's got enough time to start a new business. Do you want me to do? Here's a weird job song from our good friend Jackal. It's never been done before, and it's fantastic. Here we go. Can you hear that? You hear that? Is that the phone? Oh, no. Is it Wednesday? Weird job! That's pretty good, man. Weird job! Weird job! Tell me about your incredibly weird job. I'll try not to laugh in your face. When you say it to me, TC will sigh and try to make me use AI. Can you please be interested? Why did you call TND?
Tom will be rambling a question when suddenly it changes. Violently it changes. Oh no, the segment
Going for it, man.
is going bad now. So tell me what you're earning. Yearly. Next up, a sloppy slide with a weird job. Next up, a sloppy slide with a weird job. Next up, a sloppy slide with a weird job. Why the hell would you actually call TNT? Next up, a sloppy slide with a weird job. A slam hog is up, a sloppy slide with a weird job. A sucker's next up, a sloppy slide with a weird job. Why the hell would you actually call TNT?
There you go.
Well, thank you, Jackal.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I thought it was you.
Tiffany is not a. Well, I think loosely I've inspired a lot of these, but that's not me. That's our good friend Jackal, and Tiffany's definitely not a slam hog. I just want to reiterate, like she is a mother.
I can be a slam hog today.
Don't say that.
No. Well,
There's truck drivers driving off the road right now when they hear. Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
You're not. You're a businesswoman.
Yeah. And Tiffany, how the hell do you stay in such good shape and have 10 different jobs?
I just have one that I do poorly, fat as hell.
How much do you exercise?
Okay, well, first off, I quit the gym like a month ago to do this other business. And then I just got back into it yesterday because I was like, okay, well, now I can get back into the gym because I have employees and things like that.
So you quit the gym.
We had
the
employees.
Gym
They all quit. I just want to point that out.
But you quit the gym a month ago, and then it didn't cause any sort of difference.
Oh, my God.
I mean, to me it did, but you know, in a bathing suit it did, but you can't really tell. I guess 5 pounds when you
I would disagree. I'll disagree with that statement.
So, Tiffany, I
can't even put myself in a bathing suit anymore.
I'm
done swimming. I've stopped swimming. I'm done. No more swimming for me. 48, no more swimming.
So you opened up a new business.
Yeah. I
So,
did.
Let's talk about how the hell this even started. Of course, Salty Sister still going strong.
Salty Sister stronger than ever. Go there, enjoy your smash burger, get a cold beer.
Yeah, today is $8. Well, it's Wednesday, so it's half off wings.
Okay, half off wings Wednesday.
Oh, it's all burned into a brain. Human computer.
And,
so yeah, go and half off wings.
And so,
what flavors you got? What's your favorite?
Everything.
What's your favorite wing there?
Sweet Thai chili has got a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweet.
I like a sweet Thai chili.
So,
that sounds delicious.
How the hell did you get into the kid play place business?
When I was living in California, they're everywhere in California.
Yeah.
And I have 2 young kids. At the time, my son was probably 2. And we started going to these places all the time that have like the different room, the theme room where he can be a cop in this room and then he can be a hairdresser in this room and then he can jump in a ball. But you know what I'm saying? So
I want to be a Black Lives Matter.
They're all like theme rooms.
Sorry, no room.
And they're like, they're everywhere in California. And I was like, man, there's only one employee here. And all I have to do is like build all this stuff and buy all these toys. And it was packed. There's like 30 kids in at a time. And I just see that door opening and closing. And everyone was getting memberships. And so
we had a membership. Did you have a membership
to one of these places? Yeah.
Did.
When the boys were young.
Do you want to know why I know? Because your wife got my wife to get the membership.
All right.
That's how it works. No, that's how it works.
Yeah,
Crystal said, hey, did you know there's this place that you can take Maisie? I took the boys there. It's great. Here's a screenshot of it. Went to Andrea. Andrea's like, that's great. Drove over there. Boom, membership. That's how it works.
The first day I had 3 influencers taking videos and pictures and posting them and getting hundreds of followers.
What's up? It's Logan Paul, and I'm no longer in the Japanese suicide forest. I'm at a play space. Well, let's check it out.
I mean, I don't know. They were like big influencers, but the point is, I got 1,000 likes on the Facebook in 2 days. Which
holy crap!
Was nuts. And
that's desperate parents.
Because the parents were sharing it, not just because I was. It was we got 300 shares onto everybody's Facebook page, so all their friends were liking it and all that.
Captain John in the chat room says Ali Kawali's in Jacksonville's printing money. There's a place called Ali Kawali's.
So there's none in Cocoa Beach, though. There's one in Melbourne, and there's a bunch in Orlando. But there was none in Cocoa Beach. So I was driving 45 minutes to Orlando to go to these things. And I'm like, man, if I could get one right by the cruise ships, where tourism's crazy, and one for all the kids in Brevard County, let's do this. And so we opened
what if
about
you could
2 weeks
leave
ago.
your kids then go on a cruise?
Oh my God! Yeah.
And if you just put a cage and some food in there,
you
they'll be fine.
You cut the bag open with a knife.
Yeah.
You leave it in the bag; it'll say dry.
Kids are tougher than a lot of people give them credit.
They really
That's
are.
true.
They really are. They're like little animals.
So back to the kids' play place. So there's a
The Brevard location has to have a place for kids to put their socks, shoes, and vapes. They'll put them in the little cubby.
So we did find a freaking vape.
Oh, I know you would. Yeah.
In the,
Put the vape in the cubby before you jump in the...
It's in the Lost and Found for anyone who lost their vape at Play Space.
Could you me a favor? Keep it charged when you leave it in there.
Right.
I'll swing by later.
So what I know about these places, because Crystal was a member at these places
See?
and would drag me along every once in a while, and then I go. And
I'll be hungover sitting at a vibrating, like they had massage chairs at one of them we went to, and you would sit in a massage chair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, that's next. I like that idea.
It was great for dads and moms. I'd sit there. I'd be so hungover.
It costs $1.
Yeah, it costs $1. So you're making money on that too.
I bet I can find one on Marketplace. But
Well, no, you don't. You don't even need to spend money. I think you could just have the guys bring them in.
Yeah,
it just
and then we
pushes
do the
business.
split. Yeah, that's how the claw machines work too. By the way.
Oh, we need a claw machine. Let's get a claw machine for the studio.
Also, you could sell like some CBD gummies.
Oh, yeah, you could.
And some
could.
THCA.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that for the parents out there.
Gas stations sell it.
Let's drop some Delta 9.
There you go. No, but when I go
I
to
went
these
to the
places,
play space and did salvia.
I like it when you're sitting with all the other parents, and then the kids are playing in the area, and then there's there's a parent area, and then everyone's just looking at their phones and not at their kids.
Well,
I
and
like
the whole
that better.
point is their kids are not staring at a TV or at their phones. They're playing. They're interacting with other kids. It's kind of like mom guilt-free zone is what I like to call it. And it's almost like I felt like, okay, well, my kids are 2 and 4 right now. This is the time to start a business where I can bring my kids to work. So, for example, I had a call in yesterday. One of my girls was sick, and I brought my kids there, and they have a blast. They cry when they have to leave. And my kids are playing with other kids. They're pretending to be firefighters, or they're building something. Cool. And it's just, we did this. It's kind of like a mom pat on the back.
I think it's cool. It's really cool. And you and your dad built everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, my husband helped as well, but
That's
my
amazing.
dad, I mean, morning till night. 7 in the morning,
He's
my
the
dad
best.
got there, and he would leave at 10 o'clock at night building this thing. It was
Okay, let's talk
lot
about
of
this.
work.
Again, it's called PlaySpaceCoast.com is the website.
PlaySpaceCoast.com.
You could find them on social at PlaySpaceCoast.
Go support it. When are you going to put the little salty sisters in the back? Little salty juniors.
we have
Little captains.
our restaurant is called Salty Sisters. I'm just waiting for my sign to be finished. But we made the restaurant Salty Sisters.
okay.
You got to tie it in. Yeah.
We even have the same flowers and the same like kids baskets, and we're gonna do like little menus and everything.
Oh, I love
so
that.
It's so
Oh,
cute.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. It'll
Little
push
cross
people to the
promotions.
restaurant. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about what it even takes to start this. So you were like, I recognize.
It takes fat nuts. I feel like the first look at it and go, I can do it.
So you recognize a business and there could be a market, obviously, in cocoa for this, and you're like, this makes sense. But then where does it start? So like you already are running a restaurant, which is the hardest business in the world to
way
run.
harder. Yep.
And tons of employees.
10 times harder.
Multiple employees, multiple people to manage.
If you saw what my employees call in over, you would fall out.
Yeah, and restaurant employees, they love drugs.
They do. Yeah, they do.
My latest call in was my jet ski ran out of gas.
That was Tom. Why'd you call in?
That was on Saturday
They're
night.
driving to work on a jet ski.
I can't get
I
that.
said, you should have left the island at 2 and not 4:15 when your shift starts at 5.
Are you on the jet ski right
I'm
now?
calling you from it.
She called me from she texted me from the jet ski. Sorry, I won't make it in.
Yeah.
45
I'm
minutes before
stranded.
she
I'm
was
waiting on
supposed to be
Towboat
there.
US and AAA to come tow my jet ski.
So you
That was such a Tom excuse.
so
It's fantastic.
don't
It's
you
so good, Tiff.
where do you even find the time to decide to like? All right, now I have to.
At night, she doesn't sleep.
You're also
I sleep 5 hours a day. You know, that's all you need. You only need 5 hours.
Yeah, that was the Mark Marrow. He used to tell me. I remember.
Why are all the workout people talking about sleep?
No, Mark.
they're all yelling about sleep.
I'll do it in his voice. He used to go, Double Digit, all I need is 3 hours sleep, and I never drink water. He told me that. That was the health advice that Mark Marrow gave me.
Hey, he's ripped.
Mark
You
Marrow
can't
told me
live
to
off
never
3.
sleep and never drink water, and I would look like him. And I'm doing it. And
I think you only need 5, but you don't need 3 is crazy.
Yeah, he would do 3, no water.
So then you are like, you just find you have to find a business space first, right?
Yeah, you just start searching for, like, did you want a strip mall, freestanding building? Like, what were you looking for?
I wanted something on A1A.
Okay.
Because of tourism. And then I wanted something 3,000 or more square feet, but under $5,000 a month. So that part right there was a little tough. And then it's an old yoga studio, and they made it. It was a yoga studio slash like massage.
I know what that means.
The things where they put it in your back. I can't think.
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture. Yes. So it was up there for like 2 months, and then I looked in the windows and we were like, oh, this is it. And I knew instantly that it was it because of how big it was, and it was on A1A, like right before you get to the port. I mean, my location is amazing. Right next to us is a health food store, and then on the other side is a restaurant. So our parking lot's a little busy, but it's like right before it's too busy. So on Saturdays we might have a little bit of an issue with birthday parties, but we're booking birthday parties like crazy. I've already booked 6 birthday parties.
Dead parking lots hurt me too. Like, I'm one of those weirdos. If I pull up to your business and the parking lot's completely dead, even if there are people in your business, I'm like, what the hell's going on in this place?
Yeah.
Like, I do. Like, I want some people in the parking lot.
Let's talk about kids' play places, because I remember a lot of these, and most famously, Monkey Joe's.
You were a Monkey Joe's man. You were a Monkey Joe's man. I was a Grammys man.
Which I used to call right around the summer of 2020 when it was open.
Yeah, you
Corona Joe's.
He called it Corona Joe's or Wuhan.
It was the first business that opened back up after Corona hit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, look at that. Monkey Joe's.
The monkey had a mask on.
Oh, the coronavirus? Not COVID.
He called it Corona Joe's.
And there's a certain type of person that likes to call it Corona instead of COVID.
I got
it was Corona the first time. Oh my God, was it used to be called Corona?
I call it Corona.
It's all the Coronavirus.
Oh, I forgot about that.
COVID sounds too hard.
And
Corona's
COVID's
funnier.
back. Like, the one that we have right now is COVID Flirt. That's no, seriously. That's
it just came back.
The variant we have is called Flirt. I was like, why do they call it Flirt? I don't like that.
I used to go to that store.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Wasn't there a store called Flirt?
Just call it all COVID. It's fine.
So, anyway, then I remember the birthday, but like I've been to there, like when the kids were small, a bunch of times. I think Max had his birthday. I forgot who.
He did. And there was a teen girl that, like, we had Hungry Howie's, I think.
And when you pay for the birthday party package, they start lumping in. You get the whole package.
You get the bubbles and the monkey.
And then what the good thing, like with the birthday parties, is the dad usually is the mom plans it all, and she's like, no expense spared for my my little darling.
Yeah, dad just shows up hungover,
and then they it's like $5.50. You get 2 pizzas. They cost $1.80 at Costco,
and they're cheese.
Yeah. You go and load up on the Costco.
You can never get more than. You ever notice that at a play place, the pizza's going to be pepperoni or cheese, and there are no other options. God forbid you want a pepper. It ain't happening.
Then you get a bubble machine. This is what Monkey Joe's did.
Yeah, they have a bubble machine in the roof.
And you get some teen to put the Monkey Joe costume on, and he's dancing in the bubbles. and he's dancing really good.
He is dancing good. You know why? Because he's got Max Riz. No cap.
So
Max Riz, no cap.
The birthday party package. Is there one package? You got to get the elite.
What do you got?
It comes with the champagne and the wings.
Captain Tiffany. Give the Captain Tiffany splatter.
We got. So if you want to get the elite package, we'll do your balloon arch. And people usually charge like $500 for these balloon arches. You can get one with the backdrop and the tiers with like the whole 9 yards. Whatever theme you pick, everything $100 added to your party.
Only $100.
People charge $500. That's what we're gonna start it as $100 and see how much work
you know
it
how
is.
to do balloon arches?
Yeah, I've done a bunch of balloon arches.
Hold on.
You want to do a effing balloon arch.
When my son was born, I did a Dr. Seuss birthday party for him, and I went all out because it's the first. So I did 4 balloon arches in the house. It was crazy. So I learned how to do balloon arches with them. And then the birthday party packages is what we're really trying to do and push and all that stuff. We've already we haven't done a birthday party yet, but we've booked them all, and my son's going to be the first birthday party because he's a September boy, and so we're kind of going to do a guinea pig birthday party, make sure we can do it right.
You get some photos, film it.
And guess who's doing the catering? Salty Sisters.
Oh my God! I wanted a smash burger birthday.
That's included in the. Then you get a liquor license.
Oh, yeah.
That's
we haven't done that now. Maybe for the nighttime birthday parties.
Is there any need for you to have maybe a pirate and his parrot companion? Drop by. I get a parrot suit, and then you dress as a pirate. We could go back to our roots. Dress up, make some smiles.
You know what I've always thought about that it doesn't really exist is the sports bar / play place.
We've talked about this.
Probably because you'd be sued out of existence when
you're driving drunk home with your child.
That whole thing.
Yeah, I've never been to a sports bar and had one beer.
But I was like, imagine if the the bar was surrounding the play place in the middle and the TVs, and then the bartenders were with
the kids.
No. But the kids area is in the middle, so the bar just surrounds it, so the kids can't get out. Because that's the problem. You get drunk, you forget.
Slipping through the gate there.
Yeah. And then I'm always paranoid when I'm drunk that I'm like, well, where's Max? Just gone.
Have you ever?
And I'm like, oh God.
Have you ever sent your friend, your daughter to a friend's house and then gotten so stoned that you thought she was in the house, and then you looked everywhere for her, but she wasn't there, and then you wanted to kill yourself because you thought you'd lost her?
I remember when you told me the story.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was really high, and I'm running all around. She was at a friend's house. She's just at her friend's house. Oh, man.
So, Tiffany.
New weed is so powerful.
I don't do it.
It's so powerful.
I can't do it.
When you got so you and your dad put this whole place together, you put in the drop ceiling, or you tore it out?
So it had a drop ceiling of I want to say 6 feet, down the halls, or 8 feet down the halls.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 feet down the halls, and we pulled it up to 14 feet. Me and my dad, one day, and that definitely was the hardest part of the whole thing. The drop ceiling, taking out the drywall. I've done every bit of construction on this. Whoa. That I don't. Right now it's been 2 months. Well, it's only been a couple weeks since we opened, but since I did that drop ceiling, and I still cannot feel my fingers because of all the hard labor that I put into.
Yeah, you're busting your ass.
This one, Salty Sisters, was definitely hard to build. I'm not going to take anything away from that. I sanded 45 chairs with my dad outside, and then I think we did 100 chairs inside, and that was crazy amount of work. But this one was harder because it was 8 themed rooms, so every room was we did the school and just peeling off the little stickers to it was a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of details.
It was even more work than my dad thought it was going to be because 2 things made me pull the trigger on this. One was my dad saying, I said, Dad, would you risk it? This is how much my budget is.
Yeah.
Would you risk it? And he said, well, I'm a risky guy, so I say, do it. And I said, I'm not going to do it unless you're going to help me. And he said, I promise I'll help you. We'll get it done. And so that's what made me pull the trigger. My dad is 100% supportive. There's no way I could do this without him. Just paying somebody for everything that he did would have cost me $100,000 because, he was there. He spent, I think, 2,000 hours or something, morning to night doing hardcore construction and creative construction too.
Yeah.
Somebody would have charged us. Just somebody wanted to add a, one piece of drywall on my upper floor of my house, and it was going to cost me $5,000. So what we didn't pay my dad would have been $100,000. So it's not that this business was, and I went way over my budget even with that. So,
man, your dad is a good dad.
Yeah.
If
he's a cool dude, though. He's so good.
If my son's in the future,
what if Tommy wants to open up his dream pizzeria, and you got to get in there and start helping?
70.
He does not look
I'm
70.
40 years old, and my dad's helping me like this.
Well, you both have good genes because you both look. You don't look your age.
Every cockamamie business my son comes up with, going to be in there pulling down the drop ceiling.
Are you going to do it?
I'll start. I'll be like, I don't know. This seems pretty
You're gonna
risky.
try to talk him out of it?
yeah. Well, I won't be.
That is a play.
My dad did the opposite. He talks me into things.
Has he ever talked you out of a? Because you've had a lot. And a serious question, because like you and your dad are super tight.
Yeah,
you and your
we
mom
are.
were super tight. I mirror your, like, when you talk about your parents, I can mirror that because I loved my parents. Like,
Yeah.
I loved them so much, and our relationship was very similar, very tight. Was there any job or anything you've ever wanted to do, and your dad's like,
No, it's the opposite. If I'm like, Dad, I don't know about this, he's like, we're doing it 100%.
I like that.
I'll help you. Like,
Yeah.
let's do it. So he's a lot of the motivation behind me getting all these things done. And then the other thing that made me pull the trigger was when I had my son's 4th birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, and it cost me $800, and there was 7 birthday parties going on at the same time, and all these crazy kids screaming, and they all sing happy birthday to you at the same time, all the birthdays.
Yeah,
so there's 8 birthdays.
you don't even get an individual song.
You don't even get happy birthday sung to you individually.
Damn.
And all my son's friends were off playing video games.
Right.
So my son sat there by himself when they're all supposed to be singing happy birthday to him. And I wasn't mad at the other kids. I was mad at Chuck E. Cheese for not caring about him.
Yeah.
And like, it made me sad. And I was like, my kid's not going to go through another birthday like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my own competition to them birthday
I'm
places.
breaking down the mouse.
And break down the rack.
I'm taking him down.
So it was just like, I'm going to make sure that other parents don't have to go through this too. And I'm going to make the birthday parties about that kid. And we have their own special birthday room, and the birthday party's all about them. So that was part of the motivation. There's
This is where
nothing
Tom
else
tries to talk you into the
in Brevard
rap
County about
way.
that.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say, I'm surprised you chose Chuck E. Cheese because out of all the kids' play places,
There is none in Brevard. That's what I'm trying to say.
Chuck E.
There is none.
Cheese is the worst.
No.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Why do you think that?
I would absolutely disagree with that.
Absolutely.
No. Monkey Joe's is way worse than Chuck E. Cheese. You're insane. Monkey Joe's got some old dated ass lounges you're sitting on, and half their stuff didn't even work.
Chuck E. Cheese, the last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese with the kids, I looked around and I'm like, are they hosting the gathering of the Juggalos?
No.
Is that a
Which
little
one did
Wayne
you go
concert?
to? The one that I went to was fine.
Mine's nice.
436
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese?
Mine's pretty
Oh,
good.
see, that's all I
it's
gotta say.
filled
The one
with
at Waterford.
arcade.
The one at Waterford's nice.
A bunch of lousy ticket games,
Well,
and
I
then
can't do
some
anything about
animatronic. Monkey Joe's at least has some bounce things, some
Yeah.
Well, most of it was
slides.
broken when I went there. It's like, you can jump on this broken chair. This
Well, I
broken
hosted
swing.
a bunch of birthday parties at my house, and it was so expensive by the time you rent all the stuff and pay for all the food and do all the decorations
Yeah.
and everything. It's so expensive. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this one off. We're going to do Chuck E. Cheese, and it was miserable and horrible, and I hated it. And so I'm not going to do that anymore. My kids, every single birthday till they're 18 is going to be at
Oh, I like that. yeah. That 17 is going to be a rough one.
Yeah, I'll be like, sorry,
Yeah.
play space again it is.
Yeah. What do you want? What do you want your theme to be? You want Sheriff Callie?
So how do you decide what to put inside these places?
I did a lot of research. I went to a bunch of them. I looked at a bunch online, and we wanted to be a little bit different. So we did an arcade, which when I walked in here and I saw your Mortal Kombat game over there, I said, I see it's not on. Can I get that Mortal Kombat?
It's yours.
Yeah, we will give that to you.
You know what? It would make my heart grow 1,000 sizes larger to donate something. We'll just put a Tom and Dan sticker on the back of it. Just like a little hidden.
for a little marketing.
Just a little hidden marketing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I need
You got
that.
it. You can take it with you when you leave.
Because I have Pac-Man right next to it. It's perfect. I have 2 outlets right there for it.
All right.
So, and then the market always does good, the grocery store, because the kids learn all the food and the fruit.
That
and
was
all
Maisie's
stuff.
favorite thing.
Yeah, my kids spend a lot of time in the house, it has a laundry, it has a little kitchen, it has a table, it has all the babies. My daughter calls it the baby room.
Okay.
And I got all the princess dresses in the house, so they're all playing dress up and they're taking care of their kids. It's really cute. The house is like the number one. And then I got the baby soft play area, and it's really safe. I watched a kid do a backflip off of the top yesterday and land perfectly and not even cry. It was amazing.
Oh my God, that's a good test.
So with this, is there one time you mentioned memberships and birthday parties, and you have to become a member?
No, you can go. Just a day pass is 15, sibling is 12, crawler is 10.
All right, okay.
there you go.
Taglines.
And
I love it.
you can come back and forth if you want to leave and go have lunch and take a nap and come back, which our slow period is usually in between 12 and 2. That's when all the kids are gone. They do their nap and their lunch, and then they all come back at 2.
So
This is dope. I'm so proud of you. This is
Thank
awesome,
you.
man.
Yeah,
but
It's been going really good.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And I have a lot of support from the community because it's so hot and it rains a lot in Florida. So there's nothing to do in Brevard County. If it rains or it's too hot, you are screwed. You have to sit at home with your kids all day. And then they're watching TV every single day. And then you get mom guilt. And then you go to a place like this and you can just let your kids play the whole time and we clean up after you.
There you go.
I mean, it's
That's
I am.
We should put one near the studio. Do you want a franchise over here?
I do. I probably want a franchise, but I think if you have too many in Orlando, it's too much competition. I don't have any competition over there yet. Hopefully, I have one that's 45 minutes, and then my closest one I think is the new Oviedo Mall.
Hold on. What if we just?
Oh, that's a good location.
Yeah, the Oviedo Mall one is really good. I went there.
We just make our lobby.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, we already got the Mortal Kombat out there. We got snacks. That couch is nice. I'll go walk around. I'll touch everything, make sure it's not
And really,
sharp.
you only need a TV. That's all they
really
want.
do. We're going to do Tom and Dan's TV house with like unlimited. We'll just put iPads on the floor.
You drop them off, and then we'll have Twitch.
Yeah.
We'll just put a camera in there and have the Twitch chat room give us a heads up if one of the kids are
we got a runner. We got a crawler.
It's so funny because guys have such a different mentality than women because my dad and my husband both came to me at separate times and was like, we should do a movie room. And I'm like, you guys are missing the point.
But they know what kids love. We're addicted to it. It's like if you came to me and said, hey, there's a marijuana room, I'd be like, really? Let me go in there.
Yeah. All they want is iPads.
I got the Pac-Man machine. That's the most I'm doing of screen time.
Did you have to boost your Wi-Fi up here for, did you have to get a guest Wi-Fi?
I did get a guest Wi-Fi.
I wondered if
I spend the money on the Wi-Fi so they can, but I didn't spend the money on the streaming because I said they're not going to stream a TV show while their kid is playing.
Oh, I'm always watching porn at the play places. I'm just sitting there because I got an anti-glare. I got a non-glare protector.
Yeah. I mean, he's just casually watching. He's not being sick about it.
It's none of your business. Don't look over my shoulder.
He just wants to
mind your business. I like to keep myself stimulated throughout the day.
He just wants to put it in his brain a little bit.
My doctor says it's good for me.
Oh my God! No, he didn't.
I don't have a doctor. She's a woman.
I know what you need. Because
is this where we give her terrible ideas until she
you
leaves?
guys always do that to me.
You need a crane machine because every time my kids go to one of these places, you get the tickets and whatever.
It's not an arcade. Like I don't think she has it like you're going to Dave and Buster's.
No, but you just have it in the back, and that thing's generating revenue because
it makes noise. It plays like noise.
Yeah, but the kids are like constantly, maybe that's
begging their parents for the money to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why we have the snacks facing the kids, because every 2 seconds a kid goes to get those Cheez-Its. And I said, go ask your mommy.
Those things are $4.
We make a killing off those. No, we only charge $1, but
$1 for Cheez-Its.
You're being too reasonable.
All day long.
Tiffany, that's the
you
problem
got them
with
in
me.
there.
I feel bad too. I'm like
no, you got to gouge them.
Even like the crawler pass, like we started at 12 and I took the price down because I was like, that kids are just crawling. So
Crawling is $12. Walking is $3 more.
I'm very reasonable. I don't know. I'm still a mom, so it's like I know, and like
you're thinking about the money.
We're doing twin day. I did buy one twin, get the twin free. Today, Wednesday, is twin day.
Oh.
So if you have a set of twins, you pay for one twin, the other one comes for free.
There you go.
Tomorrow.
You might get the Island Boys down there.
You need a glass case with some Pokemon cards and some other garbage in there.
Some one-hitters and stuff.
My husband's like, sell bottles, sell diapers, sell wipes.
You could sell anything. You could sell tire, fix a flat. Anything.
You could be like one of these one-off gas station Mario white tall tees. You have some kratom in there.
Cocoa Beach shirts.
And
now exiting Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, how far are you from the beach?
Oh, I mean, I'm across the street.
Okay,
I'm on A1A.
Yeah. Well, then you sell some beach nonsense in there. You gotta. We can expand this, Tiffany, and then go and you start going all the way up the coast, and then you get 20, 30 of these under your belt. You'd be rich.
Not a bad idea. What about a pet room?
I got the vet clinic.
Okay. Are you thinking about? Oh, you have a vet.
I already have the vet clinic.
Can you bring your real dog in there?
No, you can't bring your Jesus.
That would push. People love bringing their dogs everywhere.
Yeah, they do. That's true.
Like if you allow pets. Like, do you have to deal with that at Salty Sisters if people want to bring their dogs and stuff?
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
You know what I thought about? You know what's a
really
good...
bad.
Oh.
It's worse than
it is worse
owners
than kids.
probably think. Because
I think it's worse than kids. I've been trying to figure out a way to tap into it for what we do here, and I can't figure out a
Tiffany,
way to do it.
I got it. Oh, I figured it out.
got a story off air for you.
We need to do a segment where we just come up with business ideas. I got a really good business is
this Poolber?
No.
Which was great, by the way.
Dog bar.
No.
I still think about Poolber.
Pet sitting here, because this is the key. When you set up the website and you're like, look at this, like it's like a resort for your pets, and then the outside is unbelievable, where it's like there's water features and like plenty of area for the dogs to run around, and then there's like all these toys and stuff.
All those.
Right.
Somebody just came up with this idea for me and pitched me this 2 days ago.
Yeah,
the same exact thing.
So you make it look, and you're like, whoa, wow, this is an awesome vacation for my dog. You drop it off, and you're like, your dog's gonna have the best, and then you just leave it in the cage the whole time because dogs can't talk.
That's true.
I love that idea.
And they're not going to tell the owner, like, I was in the cage the whole time. They didn't even go out
There's
to the
no way they
paradise.
could do that.
Yeah, and then they're in the cage the whole weekend, and then you just give them back to the owner.
You just gotta move them so they don't you don't want them to get any like marks on their body.
And then the dog's always excited to see their owner, so the owner's like, oh, look how excited, he's so happy.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's
Had a great
excited.
time.
Yeah, you just sat in the cage the whole
That's
time.
what I used to do babysitting. I'd
Doodling
be like,
on
the kids
himself.
slept the whole time. I'm like, oh, we had the best time.
See, that's
I would lie.
That's the key,
Yeah.
because the dogs can't ever. And then you don't have to ever clean the entire
True.
paradise because the dogs are
they're
never
not-
out there.
And you can't allow the number one thing about most businesses, and we should have done this here, is if you're a patron, not allowed in the back.
Yeah.
You can't see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Remember when businesses used to be magic? They used to be, but now everybody's like, let me
you
see
know
back
too
there.
much.
We've got standards. It's like you used to be able to do whatever the hell you want.
All right, Tiffany, congratulations on the new business.
Thank
Again,
you, thank
it's
you.
Play Space Coast, that's right.
Yeah,
PlaySpaceCoast.com.
We get so many things wrong. Even when we get it right, we think we get it wrong.
He's like, well, it's written down.
Yeah. And then also Salty Sisters.
Yes, please support my restaurant, Salty Sisters in Cocoa Beach. And thank you guys so much for always promoting my stuff.
We're just super proud of you, and we love you, and we're glad that your stuff's going, really, really well.
Thank you.
So I may mark this to play back to my wife every time she complains she doesn't have enough time in the day to fit it all in.
Don't pull me against her. I love her.
That's not going to go well.
With two kids, you got two kids. I'm a realtor. I'm like, well, how many houses are how many got on the hook?
Lord.
You got two. You listed one buyer looking.
you got to get out of bed to even start.
It's not like that much. Tiffany's doing tearing down drop ceilings.
Isn't that what you normally
got
say?
two businesses.
Normally he says that. She's like, still in bed.
30 employees.
50, she said.
One of them ran out of gas on their jet ski.
Yeah, do you have like a shining star employee that you love? Like, do you have somebody you can pass on the business to? Do you have somebody you can hand it over?
Which one? Well, I'm working with my sister-in-law
can't do that.
on PlaySpace. We are partners at PlaySpace. Me and my sister-in-law. So she's there right now. That's what's cool.
Oh, that's killer.
When you have business partners, it makes it a little bit easier so you can
We have
live your
business
life.
partners, but we're business partners, but we do different things. So it's like two separate businesses.
There you go. So neither one can work without the other.
No.
That's smart.
But then we're always skeptical if the other one's actually doing anything.
Yeah, right. What's he doing?
I say, Daniel, looking at her, and then I quickly change my fantasy football, and then I'm like, I'm just working in here,
Trying to get sponsors.
And then I'm what's Daniel do? And then I'm like, what is he? He's listening to porno.
I was listening to porno. I was actually listening to porno while I filled out the questionnaire for my new therapist.
All right, Tiffany. Well, we'll talk to you soon. We need to do a monthly episode where we brainstorm a new business.
Can we check back in a month?
Yes.
I think we could.
I might need help in a month.
Because I want to start a business now.
Yeah.
Tiffany
What do you
starts
wanna
two
do?
businesses.
What do you want to do?
I only have one.
I want to start a CD store.
God damn it.
Little Daddy's records and tapes. Right?
I love it. Too bad people don't even have it in their car anymore.
No money in
Can't play
it. No money in it.
I think we just sell Delta 9.
Yeah, we do.
That's where the money's at.
We're getting closer and closer to getting our own Tom and Dan brand Delta 9 cashing in and then just going our separate ways.
I think we can just sell it out of here.
Yeah, we
like, to all the
We
rich
could.
Baldwin people, they want some Delta 9.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just the same as weed.
Yeah, that's what everybody's telling me. When you
Yeah.
light it, it turns into regular weed.
And you don't need a
You know all that.
license.
I've been hearing about, and I do my consulting on the side, my edible consulting.
we need help.
And people have been hitting me up for Delta 9. I was just hit by somebody starting one in China. And I still consult with that all the time.
Yeah.
That pays for like the little stuff like dance lessons and gymnastics and stuff. So every time my kids want to sign up for baseball, I'm like, better get another another consulting thing.
We need that help. We need to get it. We need to get in the marijuana business. And
Yeah.
I'll help you.
We dabbled
Hire
in it.
my consulting firm.
Okay.
Tiffany.
Yeah.
And then we get our
That's
own
it.
Tiff Inc.
I don't want to deal with the government and in regulations.
That's why Delta 9 is what's up.
We're going to do this out the back.
Yeah. But then if they ever change the law, that's where they kick your door.
We're on the run. We're on the run.
Yeah. Then you got a bunch of Delta 9s. They're like, get rid of it. You see the
Yeah,
law.
they make you burn it.
Yeah.
You taught us that. They make you like
Oh, yeah,
destroy
that's
it,
true.
throw it in an incinerator.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, you've had so many different businesses. How many businesses have you had?
Well, I mean, if you count my
Got to count the band.
the band, yeah, because I did run the band.
100%.
Yeah, because it went through all my taxes too. Gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my fifth.
Wow. 5?
That's impressive.
See, that's the taxes. Got to get rid of those. Like, we got to figure out a
do.
business.
Well, that's why people do franchises. I didn't realize it until I was like, next year we're going to have to really pay a lot in taxes at Salty Sisters unless we roll it into another business. And that's why they do it. So they never have to pay taxes. That's why franchises exist, I think.
So you're just constantly rolling it in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that you're spending all that like profit through another thing, and then it just keeps rolling. And you're paying yourself
You're
in a
just
different
kicking
way.
the can down the road. I
You're
like
rolling,
that.
rolling.
It makes sense, but that's why people do it. I mean, gosh, if I didn't have kids, and I love my kids, but I would be really successful.
Or drop them off at your place. You're free babysitting now.
I'm trying.
just let them sit there.
But is it different, though, if you're there and you're like, it's the boss's kids? Right? It is a little different.
But my kids, they just play the whole time.
Yeah.
They don't mess with me. Sometimes they come up to me and they want a snack, and I'm like, no, while customers are here.
Yeah,
and I shove
it
them
is a
away.
little different. It's like if you're the director of Clear Channel Orlando, let's say, and then you have the web guy from Clear Channel Orlando come out and video your son's soccer game. It'd be like if somebody did that, right? That's an insane thing to do, and of course nobody would ever do that because that's completely silly, stupid, and insanely crazy to take advantage of that employee like that.
I've always wanted to have.
Yeah, we'll never get that. We're not a big enough company.
Yeah. Like
I always wanted somebody to be like, pick up my dry cleaning. And I don't even have any dry cleaning. I don't have it.
That's the goal, I guess.
God, the closest I got was Butler picking up my crate.
You did.
That was the closest. It felt great. It felt
feel
great,
good, didn't it?
I sat
and we
back
did
in
a
my
few
chair.
other things too, like when new products would come out, like when that stupid Popeyes fried chicken came out a couple of years ago.
I remember
and
that.
we had somebody here. We're like, hey, idiot, go get those Publix fried chicken sandwiches so we can try them and be relevant. And he's like, yes, sir, Mom. I was like, this is pretty awesome. And get some Kratom too.
All right. We got to go. So again, playspacecoast.com. Sorry.
Yeah. Are you on social media? Are you active on it? Okay.
And Facebook is a really easy place to find me. PlaySpace Coast is my Facebook. Give me a like, send me a friend request, and follow me on Instagram and all that fun stuff. So thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, man, we love you, Tiff. Good luck with everything, but we know you won't need it, and we will be right back. Or is that it? That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Stay
it.
tuned for Good Sauce with
Yeah.
Ross.
Stay tuned for our buddy Ross.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On Zoom with us
One
right
of our
now.
favorite guests. I mean, we had this gentleman on, how many, was it a year ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was a while back. You know him from Candid Camera.
You do.
And recently he wrote a book about fantasy football, which me and Daniel are big fans of.
We are indeed.
Our draft, we got one draft coming up tonight and then another draft coming up in a week or so. We've been playing for years. And Peter Funt wrote a book all about fantasy football, Inside Fantasy Football. How you doing, Peter?
Hey, good morning, guys. Nice to see you. And this is peak time for fantasy football, right?
Yeah, man. And you know what's funny is that we've talked to you, and we loved all your stories. Our listeners love all your stories. I never put two and two together that you, like, we've never asked you, I think, about your a love of sports or a love of I know you have a love of knowledge, and I know you love, like, reading, gathering knowledge, and writing, but I didn't know, are you a fantasy football dude?
Yeah, but let me be clear. I may have a love of knowledge, not to be confused with actually having much of it.
Gotcha.
But I admire those
Us
who
too.
have knowledge.
Yeah, us too. We're in the
Look,
same.
I love fantasy football. I have for a long time. And here's what I love about it most. There are over 50 million Americans like us who play fantasy football, and every single one of them is an expert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
They think they are.
I'm sitting with one of the foremost experts that I've ever met. I'm a little more casual than my business partner, Tom. But yeah, we both definitely love it. And
my wife tells me, believe me, Peter, like every year I don't win my league, and she's like, "Why do you spend so much time researching them?" Like she's like, all that time away from your family, researching, listening to podcasts. You should win your league, and I'm like, yeah, it's harder than that.
It is hard.
And so I'm curious. Like, let's go back to how fantasy football even started, because you go over that in your book, correct?
Yeah, and let me set the stage for you guys, because I don't want the listeners to think I'm audacious enough to give advice about how to draft, how to win your league, the best picks or anything. That's not my area of expertise by a long shot. So what we have here is everything else, because I became really curious about, well, what's the backstory about fantasy football? How did this start? And who are the real experts? But what do they do behind the scenes? And who are the celebrities who are into fantasy football?
Sure.
And then this is interesting. Who are the really big winners? I mean, the guys who win millions of dollars. And what are their lives about? Where do they live? How do they operate? And the more I looked into all this stuff, the more fascinating it became. So what you have here in my book, which I wish I had a copy, I'd be holding it up right now. They didn't send me one yet. So I hope if you get one before I do, you let me know how it looks.
There you go.
But this book, Inside Fantasy Football, is everything you'd want to know about fantasy football, except how to win.
Well, there's many different ways to win, too. In fact, not to brag, but I am the only person on this show that's ever won the league.
Okay, well,
And I'm a casual. The trophy's right there in the corner of the room.
Well, that is a case to be made that it's all luck.
That is a case. That is a case.
Which makes me insanely mad, because I want it to be skill.
Do you cover luck in the book at all, Peter?
Well, yeah. That is one of the root discussions about fantasy football, seriously, in state legislators. Is it a game of luck or a game of skill? Because luck would have it covered by gambling rules, and skill would put it in a separate category of, separate fantasy football rules. And so that is actually a legitimate question. I think the obvious answer is it's both.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a heck of a lot of luck involved, but then again, the more skillful you are, you make your own luck, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like playing poker where, the best will lose, but over time, the best will win more than the amateurs.
I've also never given you my true feeling on whether it's luck or not. And I will say that draft position, who you get because people come off the board.
Injuries.
That I'll go with luck. But what you do when you're picking up people on the waiver wire and you know that fourth back is going to be like he's coming.
You're following information
exactly, and you do a lot of that. So I think it can be both.
So Peter, let's go back to how did fantasy football start? And through your research, when did it really blow up? And what what's the effect it's had on sports? Because I know on the NFL and really all sports, it's done tremendous for the marketing of these sports, because now people have vested interests in games they normally wouldn't have.
Yeah, it started in 1962. And it was guys who were connected with the Oakland Raiders In 62, the Raiders were in their third season of existence, and they really stunk. Their record that year was 1-13.
Oh.
So a guy who was a minority owner of the team and some guys who worked with him on the Raiders, to be honest, they were kind of envious of the other owners and the other teams who had all these really good players, and the Raiders had nothing. So they basically invented this game where, at least for fantasy purposes, they could pretend to have the big stars like Jim Brown and Mike Ditka and Frank Gifford of that period and fantasize, if you will, that they were on their team. And that was how it started. They started a group in Oakland, and they called it the Greater Oakland Professional Pigskin Prognosticators League, otherwise known as GOPL. And that was the beginning. That's what they did. And they never, by the way, this is interesting, they never used the word fantasy.
Really?
That word didn't come into play until decades later. And no one really knows how that word got started in this game. Whoa. So what did they call it? The guys back then in 62 called their game the draft. That's what they called it. Huh. And that sort of underscores the importance that we still all know today, that drafting is perhaps the most exciting, interesting element of certainly seasonal fantasy football. And that's how it got started.
That's crazy.
But for the longest time, it was really a semi-secret type of operation. It spread very slowly across the country. Remember, there were no computers at that time, or not home computers.
Sure.
And so the guys who were trying to do fantasy football were using paper and pencil and keeping track of all the stats and looking at newspapers. In fact, the GOPL guys would phone around the country to various beat writers at newspapers and try to, get some inside info about who was good and all. And they didn't get very far because it was suspected that these guys had to be bookies or gamblers. And, of course, the newspaper people wanted nothing to do with them. So there was a lot of confusion about fantasy football.
Yeah, I was sort of wondering if, like, in the beginnings, you said, like, 1962, the GOPL guys, they get this thing together. It's based on, people within the Raiders organization. Was it frowned upon? Did they kind of have to keep it secretive? Because, like what you're saying, in people thinking that... Yeah, go ahead.
It's such an interesting circle. When they started, they were doing it in part to promote professional football. They actually thought it would help promote the Raiders if it got big enough and all of football. So that was the actual starting point. But as fantasy football became popular around the country in the next 15 to 20 years, the NFL went completely against it. They hated the idea. They thought it was a form of gambling. They didn't want anything to do with it. And they were very sour about fantasy sports. Then we got into the late 1990s, into the 2000s, and it became a really, really big thing. And then you had FanDuel and DraftKings and others entering the picture. And finally, the NFL woke up and thought, wait a minute, we've got this all wrong. This isn't a bad thing. This is arguably the best thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah, 100%.
Fantasy football is arguably the best marketing tool for the NFL that could ever be invented. And nowadays, of course, well, heck, 28 of the 32 NFL teams are actually linked contractually to fantasy football platforms. The NFL has its own fantasy games you can play on NFL.com. I mean, they're into it all the way.
Yeah. It's huge.
It's so funny to look back because I remember when I first started playing fantasy football early 2000s and 2003 or something.
Yeah,
and,
that sounds about right.
But I remember no one, like ESPN, no pundits ever talked about it. Like they were being told like that, don't talk about gambling or the spread or fantasy points.
It was more frowned upon. It almost felt like medical marijuana or something.
Yeah,
it was like don't talk about it.
They were like hiding it, but it's so you're right. It's the best thing that's ever happened to the NFL, especially, and they rejected it at first. Like it's funny they didn't have the foresight to see like, hey, if everybody got into playing fantasy, people are going to now watch like other teams besides their home team. Like everybody's just watching their home team. Now people are going to have reasons to watch Green Bay if you're a Miami Dolphin, like all these other teams.
It created, in effect, its its own economy. Think of the millions of parties that men and women are having across North America.
Giraffe parties,
I mean, it's an economy in itself that will fund sports bars. Like sports bars right now are counting on fantasy parties.
Yeah.
Counting on them.
You know, you mentioned women in that last sentence. That was one of the discoveries in my research that really blew my mind. The fact that we've got somewhere between 50 and 55 million Americans who currently play fantasy football. That I don't find hard to believe. But 1/4 of them, 25%, are women.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
that really surprises me. I mean, I know there are more and more women involved, but 1 out of every 4? Wow.
Well, I mean,
that's amazing.
Just testing our chat room right now, Peter, just to kind of hammer it home. Christine, who's a lifelong listener of ours, we love her. She says in the chat room, I have 3 draft parties in the next 2 weeks. It is a sickness. Yeah, man. Like once you get into it, people really love it.
We have a woman in our fantasy league that we've had for nearly 20 years together.
Susie.
We've all played, and she's won the most out of everybody, which really, Peter, has bothers me a lot.
It makes us very angry.
And I'm not even that sexist. A little bit, but but just the fact that
she's really good.
It just gets me. Anyway,
you're only slightly sexist. I get it,
yeah, I'm just being.
Things are really changing and rapidly. A few weeks ago, the Fantasy Sports and Gaming Association inducted their first woman into their Hall of Fame.
That's huge.
So that's a breakthrough. Her name is Stacy Stern, and she's a vice president at Underdog. But she's the first in the Hall of Fame. And the same month, Matthew Berry, who gives out this moderately prestigious award called the Matthew Berry Award, gave it for the first time to a woman, Stefania Bell of ESPN. So, yeah, things are really changing and women are getting more involved. And one of the most interesting pieces of my research was tracking down and interviewing the only woman so far in fantasy football history to win $1 million prize.
Damn.
And her name is Alicia Hunt, and she lives near Chicago. And she plays fantasy football, mostly DFS, daily fantasy football, on DraftKings and FanDuel.
That's crazy.
But a couple years ago, she won $1.1 million. Here's the thing. Most of the big DFS players go up to the max, which is 150 lineups that they can enter each week. On this particular week, Alicia entered 3 lineups.
Okay, so she was the anomaly.
Lord
because
have mercy.
I was about to talk to you, Peter. Like the guys that win
the daily stuff is a grind. Dude.
The daily fantasy, they have computer programs that just set their teams. Like my brother-in-law, he's won 6 figures off of DraftKings.
He's doing it,
and
he's doing it.
And which is I didn't think I'd ever know someone that won because I was like, oh, the people that win are But he's got software where he picks his like maybe 20 top players players, and the software makes teams. Like, he picks what's the most valuable, but the software basically fills in 120 teams or whatever the max is, using different combinations of these players. And he's like, this is the only way to actually have a chance to win, because that's what other people are doing.
That's largely correct. No doubt about it. Daily fantasy has really become a match of computers. And whoever has the biggest computer or the best software has the best chance of winning. But let me tell you something. A very, very renowned TV analyst, who, in fairness to him, I'm not going to mention by name, but when I spoke to him about this, he said, oh, look, daily fantasy is really luck. And the proof of it is that, like the lottery, the same people never win more than once. And I bit my tongue and I didn't challenge him. But the truth is, he's completely wrong. The really good players with the really good software win multiple times. There's a guy who's a professor at the University of Connecticut named David Bergman, and he is a brainiac about this stuff, and he's won over $20 million in fantasy football, multiple wins, because he's figured it out and he's got the software. And I don't mean we could do that. You got to have both his brains and his tools. But the same guys do win a lot.
Which does kind of
makes it more like poker.
Make the argument that it is skill. Like, even though he is using computer software, but it's like, so that they do that in stock market, and they do that in any market of gambling as well.
Yeah, it would be unfair to say, and this is what my compliment to you earlier. It's like, I see the amount of knowledge that you use to tender your team. There are luck elements, and you can't control those. But if you can control what you got, it's just like controlling a hand in poker, right? I mean, it's just being smart about what you got.
Well, let's talk about best ball for a minute, Peter.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Explain that to me.
It's a new, I say new, it's been around for a while, but essentially it's fantasy football, but you you have the draft at the beginning of the year, and then your team is set. And that's it. It's set it and forget it. And then it's whoever scores the most points. Like, you'll have 3 quarterbacks. You'll have 5 running backs. You'll have maybe 6 wide receivers.
Injuries and stuff, right?
Yeah. So you could have injuries. Your player could be gone for the year, but you don't redraft anybody throughout the year. So so essentially, it is the most luck-driven form of fantasy football. But a lot of people prefer it because you don't have to pay attention to it.
Easier?
It'd be a little bit easier, more universal for people.
Less, it's like bacon. You don't have to tend it and stand over it all day.
What do you think, Peter?
Well, what I think, and in fact what I know, this is the hottest thing in sports, at least if you put aside gambling. In the fantasy world, certainly, this is the hottest thing. It is revolutionizing fantasy football. It is being promoted primarily by Underdog, but the other platforms are certainly getting into it. In the simplest terms, the advantage of best ball is that, number one, you really only do the draft, and after that, a computer takes over. So you don't have to manage a roster, fix a lineup, do waivers or trades or anything like that. You set it and forget it with the draft. That means several things. One, you can do as much of this as you want. An executive at Underdog told me that they have customers who draft over 4,000 different rosters in a year. So you can do it almost limitlessly. And even better, perhaps, is that you can do it 365 days a year. Underdog started running best ball drafts for the 2024 NFL season back in January before the 2023 season was even over, because you're just speculating about what the best roster will be come September of 2024, and you're drafting, and you take your chances. So it is a big darn deal with big money. There are guys who have won multiple millions. Underdog has what it calls Best Ball Mania, which has a top prize this year of $1.5 million. The top prize recently was up to $2.5 million. It's a big deal, and you know what? It's a lot of fun. It's addictive, and for those of us who love fantasy football and really love the sweat of the draft, boy, best ball is great.
Quick question from the chat room, real quick. Did you find that the age of fantasy football is starting to get possibly a little younger, maybe younger kids, or is it still like us, 48 guy? I'm a 48-year-old guy. Tom's 42. I mean, is it getting younger?
Yeah, I mean, it like sports itself. It's spread across all demographics and all age groups, but there's no question that the 13-year-old to 18-year-old group is getting bigger and bigger percentage-wise in the fantasy football world. But these younger people are playing more DFS, best ball, and other new formats, probably not as much in the standard seasonal redraft leagues, where the most people still play, but they do tend to be a little bit older.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, it does. That makes sense. That what we would do, we've been doing it for how many years have you been doing our Legacy League now? 13 years, 10 years?
Well, it's almost been damn near 20.
Yeah, it's
I think
crazy.
We started in 05.
So it would make sense that kids would start playing fantasy football in a different way, and we do the dumb old man version of fantasy football.
Peter,
that's fun.
They've got the devices. They're wired in, and so they like the faster games. Part of the reason that FanDuel and DraftKings emphasized daily fantasy was that they felt the seasonal game was too slow. The pace was too slow for the younger generation, who like quick and instant gratification, and that's how daily got so popular.
So, Peter, let's end with this. Can we all agree to get rid of kickers and defenses in our stupid fantasy football? Because I've been making this argument every year to our entire league. But let's just get it out of here.
I do love winning by a good kicker, though. I do love winning with a good kicker.
Let's put a two super flex in there so we can have two QBs running. Let's just get rid of kickers.
Listen. Hey, best ball on Underdog, no kickers, no defense.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe next year we'll do that.
We
are in a guillotine league.
There are a lot of new formats coming along. Matthew Berry's company just bought the company that runs these so-called guillotine leagues.
Yeah, we're in one.
Yeah, that's our guillotine league draft is tonight. Yeah. We started that like 3 years ago. That's pretty fun because you get kicked out if the lowest score gets kicked out every.
And then you cannibalize everybody else's players.
And then you curse out everybody else. And when you get kicked out, you're like, F you. I didn't like you guys anyway. I'm glad that I'm gone. And then everybody's yelling at you.
I'm really bad at that league.
All right. So, to wrap it up, the name of the book is Inside Fantasy Football. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. In fact, on my website at candidcamera.com. So many ways to buy it. I hope you like it, folks. And if you do, send me an email or a chat message or something and tell me how you like the book.
Awesome. Peter, as always, man, we love getting to chat with you. And congrats and good luck with the book, man. We hope it goes well for you. And good luck with your fantasy football season.
Well, you too, guys. Take care.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
See you, Peter.
That is legendary Hollywood candid cameraman, Peter Funt, talking to us about fantasy football, which is cool.
You know what we should do? We should send him an email. We're like, hey, you want to get in a league with us?
We're in a league with Peter Funt from Candid Camera.
You, Peter Funt, and we'll get some listeners
we'll get
in there.
EJ in there.
Yeah, I don't know. EJ's in the guillotine league. I'm tired of...
Are you tired of looking at EJ?
I'm tired of hearing him give me his thoughts.
Yeah, he's giving me he's like, pay you the money, or like, we're going to bully you. He's mean lately.
All right. We will see you tomorrow.